Are you performing this week?
What's that?
Our beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in over 2,500 locations across the United States. We're now available in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, Ohio, Idaho, Illinois, Michigan, Montana, Oregon, and Texas. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, enter your city or zip, and find the nearest location closest to you.
Live from our studios in Austin, Texas, this is Drinkin Bros Fake News with Ross Patterson, Dan Hollaway, Papa G with the traffic,
How you feel?
Not good.
Yeah?
field reporter Hot Bob, and Delco Dan with sports. Welcome to Fake News.
Yeah, welcome to Drinkin Bros Fake News, everybody, bringing you the realest, fakest news of the week. God, I got some sad news here at the top here. I did not know that this went down, but I just got an email from the CEO of mood.com. What's our promo code there? Bros right now? I ordered up last month, and I got all stocked up here. Dave, how long have you lived in Texas?
About 3 years.
3 years, okay.
Yes.
Dan and I have been here 5. I just got an email from the CEO of mood.com. I'll just read this off personally here. Thank you for stepping up and making your voice heard. Because of you guys, thousands of emails and calls flooded the capital this week of Texas, which is Austin. Lawmakers felt the pressure and we felt your support. Despite our efforts, the Texas House passed Senate Bill 3, SB 3, late last night. It is a devastating blow to the legal hemp industry, banning all products containing THC and triggering widespread consequences for business and consumers around the state. That will cost the state of Texas 53,000 jobs. Wow.
Holy shit.
So there is no Delta 8, 9, THC, anything that is going to be available in the state of Texas anymore here.
So I guess you'll have to go to Oklahoma and just smuggle it over.
I guess, or find a dealer again.
Yeah,
if that's your thing, go old school flour or gummies or whatever. Like, I
Meet
don't
behind
know
a
what to do.
7-Eleven, flash your headlights.
Man.
I mean, I'm never going to stop.
Oh, no.
Like, I don't.
No, this is childish.
Obeying laws is not smart.
No.
No.
To be honest.
But that one, man.
That's what I told Chris Hansen.
This is a deal. Here's what else he said. He said,
What happened?
since you went hard with a Chris Hansen joke, 3:25 into the show, 3 minutes and 25 seconds. That's Dave Landau, everybody. I was about to introduce you.
325
Sorry,
is
I just
the unit I
jumped
was
in.
in.
Yeah, I'm going to keep you here for
325th
4 hours today. We're doing a 4-hour show. I have cancer.
Do you?
And I didn't want to tell anybody.
Oh.
Now you can't leave the show because I've announced it. And
Have you
That's
known-
the fake portion of this show.
Have you known you've had cancer for 4 years and everybody's been covering it?
I
up?
know. I knew about it when you said I have a hard out at 3:45 today, and I was like, no, I got cancer.
Yeah.
So you're staying as long as I want you here.
Sarah Gonzalez is in the chat.
Is she? What's up, Sarah?
This is 2 of you assholes we've had on.
From the Blaze. So obviously
In the last week.
we love everybody over at the Blaze. Actually,
Well, not everybody.
I interviewed Sarah. Her interview will be on tomorrow.
I
Yeah,
don't
not
love
everyone.
everybody.
Not everyone.
Who don't we like over there?
I'm sure. Look, it's me. I'm sure there's somebody I don't like.
I like Primetime Stein. I love Landau. I love Sarah. Glenn Beck is great. Who else? Who am I missing?
I don't know, actually.
I don't know either, and I work there.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure who's
When I walk into the building, because your faces are right in front of us.
Yeah, they put them up on a big screen.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
It's like we're paid well.
I pee on them.
Do you really?
Yeah, he does. Every time we leave, he shakes
Just a
one
little
off.
bit. Actually, what I do,
Why?
I just pee on my hand and I touch it when I walk by. That
Yeah.
way nobody can prove I've committed a crime.
Your security guard listens to our shows, and he goes, "Dude, I don't listen to anything Dave does." And he goes, "You want to pee on the photo?"
Oh yeah, that's
I was
Tim.
like, "Oh shit, yeah."
Yeah.
So he lets Dan pee on the photo before we leave.
Yeah.
Every night, he goes, "I'll look away," and Dan's like, "No, make eye contact."
Yeah, I want you to
Just
look.
Continue.
I mean,
okay.
if nobody's watching, I can't pee. So
Exactly.
You do have to leave the room for that.
You really do.
But it's odd that I'm looking straight on when you piss on me.
Well,
It's eye contact.
I mean, it's
have to.
important, I think.
Yep.
You know?
just for a friendship and the dominance issue of it.
Right.
But yeah, they're calling this the un-Texan outcome. We're not out of options or energy. We're turning our attention to wheelchair. I mean, probably would have said, hey, we're turning our attention we're turning all four wheels toward Governor Abbott would have been great in that one. Look, maybe for the next email you can send that out. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. If you're turning your attention to Abbott, sorry, friend, nothing's going to happen there.
Yeah, he has paralyzed the pot industry. That's where I'm going to go with it.
He's getting revenge for that tree by banning trees.
Yeah, he hates that tree.
He sure does.
Trees.
He hates all trees.
So
Man.
he watched one rap video from the 80s, heard somebody calling weed trees, and now he's just banning weed.
Yeah.
It's not fair to everybody else.
Well, this one I actually know
not my
the
fault
story
you're not
of.
a
And by the
Chihuahua.
way, we didn't know we were going to start with this. I literally just got this as we went on air, and I was like, "There's no way this is real." Yeah, it's real. Because we're going to have Harrison on, I think, in like 2 weeks. So I'll ask him about it. The congressman from Texas.
Yeah.
His aides reached out, and so I had a lovely conversation with those guys yesterday.
I didn't even know he had
Oh,
AIDS.
Yeah. You get aides for any local politics job.
Full blown?
Yeah, you get full blown. I think 2 to 3, 4 aides.
That's a
with that.
lot.
It's a lot of aides
Yeah.
that you get just for getting that job. But that job also comes with the danger of aides as
That's
well.
true.
Yeah, because you don't know when the aides are going to go off on their own and kind of destroy someone else's lives.
That's true. There's ways to predict it.
Well, I think the first symptom of AIDS is a severe pounding sensation in the ass.
Yes,
That's what they say.
That's what I've heard.
And then
But I'm not a
it's-
doctor personally.
And then I believe after that, it's hysterical blindness. You start freaking out.
Yeah, that's from what I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand it's just being against God, and that's your first problem. And then you feel the
You
ass
don't know that.
pounding.
God's up to all sorts of stuff.
He sure is.
true.
He
You know what I
sure
mean?
is, Dave.
That's true.
And so are you, by the way. Where are you at this weekend here?
This weekend, I am nowhere. But
Really?
Yeah, I finally get a weekend off. It's going to be great.
I was going to say, so this is the first weekend I've had off in forever.
Yeah, I mean-
no sports or anything. I don't have to coach anything.
See, I have a baseball tournament for my son.
all that stuff ended last weekend. For us.
Yes, but yeah, coming up, I'll be in Belleville, Michigan with Derek Richards at the Diamondback Music Hall if people want to go out. That's in Michigan, and DaveLanda.com, and my book, A Party of One, a Fuzzy Memoir.
Derek Richards.
He's been on the show.
Derek's good.
Yeah, he's been on our show.
Has he?
With you.
Yeah,
Once.
I think he has one.
Oh yeah.
But I think he came on by himself once, too.
Shit, I think
remember.
he came on by himself. Yeah.
Yeah, Derek's good.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone. And I literally just said this earlier regarding Tom Cruise because his movie comes out this weekend. I was like,
Yeah.
I wish I had that focus, that locked in Scientology focus, where I just knew everybody's names, I knew their grandparents and everything else.
Well, you could also be autistic. Speaking of which, Michael, he's doing a show with Michael Malice on June 16th at Creek in
no
the Cave
shit.
here in Austin.
Yeah, come out to that. Me
Okay.
and Michael will be doing, June 16th. Yeah, Creek in the Cave, Austin.
That's the one we were at, the first iteration of
I like
it,
that place,
where Gary
yeah.
couldn't find his fucking shirt or whatever
Yeah.
stupid story he was trying to tell. I don't know.
I like that place. We'll be there.
I've
Awesome,
got.
thank you.
When Gary starts talking, I've got maybe 10 seconds before my brain just tunes
Shuts
out
off
completely.
Yeah,
It's
same.
just like
same. He's
white-
good in small doses.
it's white noise for the most
yeah.
part.
Gary knows that.
We
Gary
sent
knows
him.
that.
We sent him down to the minors. He's not here right now. He's getting some reps in.
Yeah, he chopped up a bunch of clips for us, and then his brother's getting married, so he asked if he could have tomorrow off. I said yes, and he's bringing a prostitute.
Is he really?
Yes, and he told me the story last night, and I was just like, what? And he goes, yeah, man, I needed a date, and I needed to take a date, and I guess his brother's wife said, no, Gary, you're a +1, you're a +1 only. So we'll see how that shakes out for him this weekend.
Wait, he got invited to his own brother's wedding as a +1?
No, he got invited to his brother's wedding by himself. He's one of the groomsmen, and his wife said, "Gary, this is not a +1 situation. Like it is just you and just you only." Because I think she knew he was going to show up with a whore, And
Well, I mean,
she
you
didn't
can
wanna
just
deal
leave
with
her in
that.
the room. It's fine.
No. She's coming and all that stuff. So yeah,
I wonder what her dress looks like.
does she have one?
You're taking a big risk letting that in the limo.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Why is that?
A lot of bad things could happen. You don't know what she's into.
It could be a very bad thing as well. Like you could smash her into the wall and she's dead, and then you've got to kill all your friends or whatever.
That's true.
Yeah,
What if her +1 is the pimp? Now you
yeah.
got 3 people and 2 chairs.
Yeah,
really only 1 chair.
Lavandria shows up.
Exactly.
It's like, hey.
Whoopsies. There's Lavandrius. There's the Punisher.
Yeah, if you're not paying for every hour, all of a sudden the whole wedding is ruined.
Yeah,
by
Sure
it's like
him.
putting coins in the meter, dude.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
you have to. If you're not
Gary's like,
feeding
oh, I gotta go feed the meter, and he's just handing
Sorry.
money to a fucking large black man in a super fancy suit in the back.
This is our last show this week. We're going 5 hours with you today. You're not going anywhere, dude. Duct tape his fucking arms and legs down. Dave's here for the rest of the day. Real quick check-in before we get to the news. Ryan Mills is working hard in these streets. We've got an HEB tasting event tomorrow in Mansfield, Texas, right by Arlington, apparently.
I think.
Yeah, it is. I don't know that area very well, so
No, me
forgive me.
neither.
You can kick off Memorial Day weekends with a free tasting event at HEB from 4 to 7 p.m. this Friday, May 23rd at the Mansfield, Texas HEB. You also got some new accounts here. Big Papa's Liquor Store in Longview, Maze Liquor in Winona, Fort Liquor in Fort Worth, Dawson Liquor in Dawson, Heritage Wine and Spirits in Longview, Grand Liquor in Marshall, All Liquor in Arlington, H&H Liquor in Abilene, Max Package Store. Hey, what's up, Max? You share that package with me. That's out in Emory. And then Tilt Liquor in Prosper. Do you tilt liquor then prosper? Yeah, I think that's the right order.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right. All the way around the
Tilt it
board.
in your mouth and you prosper.
Yeah,
It worked for you.
It did.
sure did.
13 arrests later, you've got a best-selling book.
That's
Proud of you.
right. Yeah. Thank you.
You
mean-
a bestseller too?
I did. It actually hit the bestseller list.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Did you get a coat?
No, I got nothing.
Yeah, I got a couple coats too.
Did you really?
A coat, like a green jacket?
I wish. That'd be great. You
I mean,
should.
You
You
have a-
should have that.
It just says best-selling author. It's just a vest
I want
with patches
a patch.
on the elbow.
Yes.
That's what you need.
Dude, the instant thought. Pull up the 80s announcer, Bob, for football.
Pat Summerall?
Howard Cosell. Bring up
Oh,
Howard
yeah.
Cosell's jacket on Monday Night Football. It's the greatest Monday Night it's the greatest jacket of all time.
I'm surprised you didn't get one made for yourself. to be honest.
I am. So me and Nick Palmachano were talking about this. We've been discussing this. Yeah, pop that up, far left. There you go. This is exactly what I want. Yellow. I want the yellow, all of it, and I want that patch. But I just wanted to say New York Times bestselling author, and obviously not ABC. But how great is that jacket?
I like it. We could do the Dice Rules jacket as well, though, where it's just all diamond out on the back.
Leather and diamonds.
Yeah,
big
leather and
fan.
diamonds, bestseller. But I do like that. This is more classy as if you're literate.
Well, it also feels like you're in the Hall of Fame, like the Football Hall of Fame
Yeah.
too, as well. And
Well,
it's
he
like,
might
okay,
be,
cool.
actually.
Well,
Because the Football Hall of Fame lets in everybody, right?
No, he definitely.
Or is it the
He's
Basketball
one of
Hall
the
of Fame
best.
that everybody's
NBA?
in?
NBA lets him
Well, it's
on
not the
people.
NBA, it's just Basketball Hall of Fame, so it's college and
Oh, you're
NBA,
right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh,
You're
right,
right.
right.
Yeah.
So everybody gets in.
You're right. All right, top story of the day, and then we'll kind of shift around here because this is all breaking. The big, beautiful bill is passed. Beautiful bill is passed. House Repubes are celebrating the major victory they delivered early Thursday morning for President Donald John Trump, minutes after the GOP majority in the House of Representatives stood nearly entirely united. Nobody voted against this fucking thing, is what we're saying?
2 Repubes voted no and 1 voted present.
Well, I can guess Massie's one of them.
Yes.
Is the other one Rand Paul?
Well, he's in the Senate, so
Okay.
no, some other dick. I don't know who it was.
All right. To pass Trump's sweeping tax and spending cuts package by a razor-thin margin. Holy shit, 215 to 214? God damn. I was like that Pacers-Knicks game last night. Speaker Mike Johnson touted the House has passed generational, truly nation-shaping legislation. Johnson predicted the measure would, among other things, reduce spending and permanently lower taxes for families and job creators and make government work more efficiently and effectively for all Americans. This part's of a 10-year plan. How the fuck do you expect to execute a 10-year plan in only 4 years? That was the
Yeah,
question.
it's nonsense. That's what one of the dudes who voted against this was making that point on Fox and CNN yesterday. It's like, yeah, this is part of this plan that they say is a plan, which, I mean, it's that word's doing a lot of heavy lifting, is dependent on a 10-year cycle. So let's say that Vance gets elected in 28.
And then reelected. You're still going to need
You
2 more
still
years.
have to win 2 more
Correct.
elections to make any of this happen, and that is completely out of the question.
For it to start.
There hasn't been a 12-year. When's the last time there was a 12-year run
Reagan
of one
to
party?
Bush.
It was Reagan and Bush, right?
Wow. Has it been that long?
Yes.
Yeah, it has.
Shit.
It's not going to happen.
It's not frequent in the history of the United States, except for after the Civil War, Republicans were on like a 20 or
They were just
30-year
dominating the
run. Yeah.
Reconstruction period, yeah. But like, so the bill
Seems
adds
odd after what they did.
over the next 10 years, it adds $20 trillion to the debt. It's like $4 to $5 trillion in annual deficit addition, and then increases the debt limit by $5 trillion. The no tax on tips thing is basically, to be honest, that was Kamala's thing.
What's that? No, Trump had it first, and then they took it afterwards.
No.
Are you positive?
On that one, yeah. So she stole the one from Vance. That was the child tax credit. He said, let's raise it to 5. She said, oh, why not 6? But no, the tax on tips thing was a part of the Kamala bill. It permits the continued existence of the IRS. Like none of that. People keep posting, not about this specifically, but over the last couple of months, this is what I voted for. This is what I voted for. This is not what we voted for.
Bob, and I just sent you a link for Thomas Massie.
Yeah,
Wasn't
Twitter
Trump
is,
in
Twitter's
2016,
fucked up,
though, doing the no tax on tips, or am I wrong?
He may have talked about it before.
I thought he was, too.
But it was
Yeah.
never part of, like, he signed a $1.3 trillion tax increase a couple years ago, and it wasn't part of that. So it doesn't end taxes on Social Security. So old people, you spend X amount of your money over the course of 40 years on this investment that you think you're making, and it's managed by the government, and then you get parceled out part of it, never the full amount, when you retire.
Right.
And then they tax you on this money that you've already been taxed on.
So that's out of there, right?
No.
Though they're still going to
It's still
tax.
there?
Yes.
Okay, because the other thing that I read was that he wasn't going to tax seniors.
No, it's in there. The only thing they put in here was no tax on tips. Tax on overtime still there. Tax on Social Security still there. No other tax cuts. No meaningful tax cuts. $1 trillion worth of spending from the Green New Deal is still in here. On Monday, before this was done, with just the word that it was going to get done and what the details were, 30-year U.S. Treasuries rose to 5%, and 10-year U.S. Treasuries rose to 4.52. That's the price that we pay to finance the debt. So because of this, we've increased the debt limit and codified into law, not yet because the Senate's got to still pass it or whatever, but it's on track to get codified into law that we're going to add 20 more trillion to the 37 trillion in debt we already have. Then rates have been raised on us. Yeah. So our annual payment of $1.5 trillion on the interest, which is $4,000 per U.S. citizen per year, is now going up.
So we did nothing.
Not nothing. I feel like
we took this one small segment of the population that gets tipped and carved something out for them because it costs us nothing to do that.
You can so easily lie about tips, though.
Yeah, we only take tips now.
Us?
Yeah.
On
like
this
to be
show?
paid in tips.
I want all of our sponsors to pay us exclusively in tips.
In tips?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Bob, play that clip. It's
Can
the
you
top left there.
1099 tips? I'm all tipped.
You used to. Yeah, you used to have to.
Yeah, I think that's the only way to do it.
Well, I'm going to say it's tips now.
Yeah, exactly. Just the tips. Go ahead and
I'll
press
play
play.
it. Just a heads up, Twitter's kind of fucked up right now.
It's not on my end. I've got it on.
It's on both of my. But
Yeah,
anyway,
it's
I got
been
it.
weird for me all day.
Yeah, it's been fucked up all day. Anyway, I got it on Instagram.
I'm cruising it right now, dude. I'm surfing it, bro.
Gentleman from Kentucky is recognized for 90 seconds.
Well, I'd love to stand here and tell the American people, we can cut your taxes and we can increase spending and everything's going to be just fine. But I can't do that because I'm here to deliver a dose of reality. This bill dramatically increases deficits in the near term, but promises our government will be fiscally responsible 5 years from now. Where have we heard that before? How do you bind a future Congress to these promises? This bill is a debt bomb ticking. Congress can do funny math, fantasy math, if it wants, but bond investors don't. And this week, they sent us a message. Moody's downgraded our credit rating, and the bond investors who buy our debt and finance our debt demanded higher interest rates on the 10-year note, the 20-year note, and the 30-year note. What does this mean? Very soon, the government will be paying $16,000 of interest alone per U.S. family. And what are we telling them? Instead of taking care of that problem, we're going to give you a $1,600 tax break. Under the taxing and spending levels in this bill, we're going to rack up, the authors say, $20 trillion of new debt over the next 10 years. I'm telling you, it's closer to $30 trillion of new debt in the next 10 years. Mr. Speaker, we're not rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic tonight. We're putting coal in the boiler and setting a course for the iceberg. If something is beautiful, you don't do it after midnight. I oppose this bill.
Is that a
Gentlemen.
rare sexual joke by Thomas Massie? Is
If
that
something's beautiful, you don't do it after midnight.
exclusively?
Like feed a mogwai?
No, like anal sex.
Oh.
Dave,
No.
Jesus Christ.
No, I do it.
Okay?
I do anal in the daylight.
I don't. I wait until later in the evening.
Isn't anal really for daylight?
No.
you
It's
want to be
never
able
for
to
daylights.
see here, like
You want to see a little bit.
I sometimes I'll wear
a.
sometimes I'll wear a miner's helmet actually with the light on the
Right.
front.
I
Even
actually,
though it's
also-
3 p.m.
he gave me his nods from war, so I actually
Yeah.
go in with
Night vision, yeah.
Yep, night vision. I kinda
Oh,
look
that's
at it.
not bad.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
it
and also
I'm
makes me
telling
feel like
you.
I'm in war too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's great.
And I mean, it's much easier to catch them.
Yeah, and then when the woman turns around and sees you, she respects you more,
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
and she knows she can't fight back because you got headgear on.
Right. I mean, it's your basement. Good luck finding the stairs.
Plus, you're
Yeah.
holding a pickaxe, so.
And I mean,
Right.
there's health
Yeah.
benefits to the sun hitting your butthole, right? That's why people just kind of.
Yeah,
They call it
sunning the
Perineum
That's it, yeah.
sunning,
Yeah.
yeah, and then yoni sunning, which is your puss. I don't know about balls.
I found one warning shot to the ear, and anal sex is always 100% done.
Oh, do you think that's what that
yeah.
kid was trying to do to Trump?
I think it's possible.
Did we get it wrong?
Maybe we did. Maybe he just wanted to make
Fuck.
love to him in broad daylight.
Because we never-
There's no body.
We never talked to him.
And we've already burned him up, dude.
Shit,
ashes
dude.
to
Right.
ashes, dust to dust.
He may have
so
just
we
been
don't
a
know.
gay. He's a struggling gay young man that was in love with Donald
His
Trump.
whole manifesto could have just been broad daylight anal.
Or the lyrics to "Hello" by Lionel Richie.
Either way.
Or the lyrics
I
to
would've been
"Hello"
fine
by
with it.
Adele.
Well, yeah, either one.
Oh,
Shit,
fuck.
dude. Can you imagine if she and Lionel Richie got together and sang each verse of that song?
While
Hello?
having anal sex?
God damn.
I think time would stop.
Yeah.
This is what AI is meant for. Has nobody done a dueling hellos with Adele and Richie?
Having anal sex?
Fuck.
Is it me you're looking for?
She's married to a black guy.
Which one's the better
Yeah.
song? Yeah, but she dabbled in white first.
Oh, she sure did.
Well,
she
he
just
looks
traded
like a
that.
little troll. That
Yeah.
guy.
And now that she's losing weight, he's losing interest.
Yeah, she's gonna have to get back in the buffet line. I think the guy's trying to talk her into buying a chain of Golden Corrals.
Yes.
Here in the U.S.
I think
like
he's
we-
trying to book her back in Vegas. You know, hey, that buffet suites is right next to that.
Hey, go to New
that's
Orleans.
the thing.
It worked for what's his nuts? The
Zion?
basketball- Zion Williamson.
Yeah, it sure did.
Oh, yeah.
It sure
Yeah, turned him
did.
into a fat dummy.
So I'm looking here.
Someone needs to make this.
They're
You are
saying
right.
there is tax cuts for seniors here. I don't know what they are, however.
Also in this were these SALT offsets, which is basically like it's offset taxes for people in high income tax states, right? So New York and California get to drive up their income tax, and the rest of the country gets to subsidize their fucking taxes through giving them federal tax breaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just kind of a brief rundown here, since this is all happening quickly, and none of us have read this bill. Probably none of the Congress has either.
Not
so
one person who voted for this.
Probably
read
all
the
their
whole
aides.
thing. No, there's no way they had time to read it all.
Usually they split it up.
No,
and
they
give you like
they-
20 pages apiece.
They added a bunch of amendments at the last minute and then voted on it last night. That's what Thomas Massie's talking about.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so it says no USAID, no tax on tips, Trump tax cuts, the ones that he imposed in 2016-17.
What does that mean, no USAID?
I guess they're getting rid of it.
No.
Hey,
That's definitely not going to happen.
border security got a shit ton of money. No tax on overtime. Really?
That's not.
Is that for every job?
I don't think that's in there. And if
But it didn't pass.
This is what they're saying
No,
right here.
the one that passed didn't have no tax on overtime.
Right.
The rest of this they're going through here. So look, obviously the $20 trillion jumps out at you. Looking at these numbers in front of me.
That's the $20 trillion from the
Jesus
people who are
Christ.
asking you to accept it, which means it's more,
Yes.
right?
There'll be extra shit in here for sure. Now, this does have to clear the Senate, and the Senate is saying we want some things taken out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Are you hopeful
No.
for any of that to happen?
No. So the first thing the Senate's going to try to take out is the only good piece of this legislation, which is removing suppressors from the NFA, from the National Firearms Act.
Why is that in this bill?
Because Republicans want it.
I understand that, but like, why are we jamming all this bullshit?
Do you remember last year?
All these bills have all the same.
It's
do you remember
par for the course, really?
God
Yeah,
damn
do-
it, man.
shit
Do
in.
you remember last year when we said that we got to get rid of these omnibus bills and vote on things
separately.
alone?
Yep.
And then,
short
and then Trump comes up with the phrase "big beautiful bill," and people are like, "Oh yeah, you know what? That does sound good." No, it doesn't. You fucking moron. Just because your guy says it's good doesn't mean that it's not good.
What was the other one?
Doesn't mean it's
The Inflation
Reduction Act.
Yes, which
Or the
had
Green
nothing
New
to
Deal.
do with that.
That was a Green New Deal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with that either.
Big Beautiful Bill sounds fucking ridiculous.
It sounds.
I mean, it
pretty big,
sounds like
beautiful.
something.
It sounds sexual.
It sounds like
you
something
do.
Trump would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest. Now, I understand the logic behind it because
I get it, yeah.
They want to pile on and get as much pressure to get as many things passed as possible because it's impossible to pass things in Congress.
Right.
Which is what everybody was always trying to do.
And by the way, you see by these numbers, 215 to 214 is.
I mean, it was down party lines with a couple of dissenting Republicans. That's it.
So, so when it goes to Senate, what's going to happen there?
They're going to remove the NFA suppressor thing for sure. They're going to try to. I don't know if they're going to go after tax on tips or overtime or that shit. That would be a mistake, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there is a work requirement for Medicare now. At least in that bill that passed the House, there's a work requirement for certain unless you're completely disabled, you have to work or you're not eligible for Medicare anymore. You can't just fucking coast on it. So that's one thing that they'll definitely try to take out. And I'm sure
What's
there'll be
the
others.
definition of completely disabled for real?
I mean, the government adjudicates if you're 100% disabled.
Okay.
And there's 100% disability where you get paid by the government. And honestly, I think you should lose your right to vote after that.
If you're 100% disabled?
I don't think you can. No, not if you're 100%
I think even if you're a
disabled.
little.
Well, he's 71. So, yeah,
Yeah.
he shouldn't be
No,
allowed to vote.
I don't think.
And he's compromised by Iran.
No. If you get disabled in government service, then you're entitled, right?
Yeah.
For sure. I don't personally need it, so I don't care about that. But for the dudes that do, I would definitely agree that they should keep it. But I don't think you should be allowed to be on welfare and vote.
Interesting. And how would that work?
You can choose to get off welfare and vote, or you can choose to stay on welfare and not vote. Here's the problem. We'll get into this more with the story about democracy today, but there's historical pretext for this. We're in a big fucking hurt right now. Democracy is not working
Financially, or are you talking
in
about
every feasible
in the
way?
streets?
In every feasible way.
Yeah. Look, I mean, there's so much crazy shit going on that it's almost hard to keep track of everything and stay focused on one thing. Like, let's take last night, for example. Watching the Knicks game. Cool. I just want to enjoy this for 2 seconds. Can't. 2 people got blown away at the embassy, and they broke in for
Right,
that.
yeah.
2 people got shot in the street, and you're just like, Jesus Christ, can we have a fucking day? Jerry Seinfeld's coming out of the Madison Square Garden the other night. Fuck you, Jerry, you fucking Jew, free Palestine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do anything anymore.
I mean, I
that is-
apologized.
afterwards.
Yeah,
but
you're
it was
right.
too late.
The
He'd
damage was done.
He had already driven off at that
I like
point.
of all the people on earth that you could yell at. It's like when Rick Moranis got punched.
I agree.
Like Jerry Seinfeld's the nicest dude on the.
And what the
on
fuck is
fucking
he gonna do?
planet.
What is he
Yeah.
gonna do? Call Netanyahu? Hey, Netanyahu, what are we doing with the bombs in Gaza? Like, we're not doing that. Like, he's not gonna call him.
What's the deal?
What's the deal with bombs in Gaza? Haven't we won?
He's had it happen at his shows too a couple times.
Yes.
Where people stand up and protest, and it's like, do you think he's the ambassador for Israel?
And I think he had to get security. And Dave, you've been doing stand-up way, way longer than me. But
Yeah.
like, he never had security anywhere. Like,
No, he could just
He was
hand-
just a man of the people, walked around and did all this other shit. With these fuckers that are coming out of nowhere now,
Yeah.
with this free Palestine bullshit, which we'll get to in a second, is nuts to me. And if Jerry Seinfeld and Rick Moranis aren't safe, like, who is safe then walking around the streets?
Well, and it's not even a heckler, though. Like with Rick Moranis, it's unbelievable because I think he was going to return to acting, got punched in the face, and was like, you know what, I did like retirement much
Yeah.
more.
Loved it.
But yeah, with Seinfeld, it's not even about heckling or something that you can have a comeback to. They're just screaming and shouting
about
with-
politics that
Right.
he has nothing to do with.
But you're
Nothing.
just standing there going, I can't actually continue because you're just yelling. So they have to be dragged out of there. Like there's no fun like angle to it.
It's like yelling at somebody from New York about the Knicks, and they're not even a Knicks fan.
Right.
That's essentially what it is.
And you and I had that happen when I was wearing a Rams jersey just to do it.
Oh yeah, well, you
and I was
did. You
just
threatened to rape that dude.
Well,
so.
I won that day, but it was
I was
fun.
wearing an LA Dodgers hat and I caught some shit, and people didn't understand that I was simply trying to side with West Coast rap because of the Diddy thing.
Yes, and you wanted to distance yourself.
Correct.
From
I wanted
all
people to know
New York rappers.
I'm more about Dre Day, and I never liked Puffy.
Yeah. Did you ever forget about Dre?
Never.
Okay, good. I was just checking.
People think I did.
I know,
but I didn't.
because a lot of people did. And,
Yeah.
and I hope you didn't forget about Dre.
No.
But with this bill, I'm assuming Senate will crack this open and we'll get more out of this because late last night, to Thomas Massie's point, if they don't have it, we don't have it. I have no idea. There's speculation going back and forth on Twitter, but since this is so new, I'm curious to see what's really in here. The thing that it seems like everybody seems to agree on as far as like all the sites that I'm on here and my 80 tabs that are open is that 20 trillion in debt over 10 years is definitely the big one in there. And yeah, you're right. You're presumptuous that one, we're going to hold the White House, Senate, and Congress for 12 fucking years in a row.
Even if you do, you can't get these motherfuckers to agree on what you're putting in right now.
No,
right?
no.
So you think down the road, what they're just gonna like what start making the cuts that they promised? No, this is we're a snowball rolling downhill at this point.
And isn't it really just kind of to allocate their money to their own side or their own pockets than it is anything else?
Yeah, more or less. I mean, it's a cushion around them to keep them afloat, and by afloat, I mean in power, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So you keep the people that have been taking care of you politically in a good status with the money that you fucking steal from the American taxpayers. That's all it is. Again, we can get into the can democracy survive thing now if you want and segue into it because it's becoming more relevant.
Let me read our title sponsor here, which is OmahaSteaks.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros gets you $35 extra off at checkout. When it comes to Father's Day, some things never change. Dads want steak. For Dave, he just wants to see his kids.
Yeah.
You're in a custody battle right now that I don't want to discuss.
It's pretty serious.
Yeah, there's cages. The kids are in cages.
They are.
And,
well, it's how I feel they should learn.
Yeah, and they're down at the border.
Look, they don't get steak, but I do feed them cracker goldfish through the bars.
And if they make their way out of the cage, then they become a full child. Because right now, it's just like you're a probationary child.
Yeah.
For now,
I'm trying to keep them in the cage because I don't want the responsibility for the mistakes I made in Honduras.
Exactly, and which is perfect here because you can chop. This steak is so good. You can just chop it up into little pieces.
Sorry, I just love this.
And
read.
throw
feed
it
them through the cage.
Feed them through the cage.
Yeah.
And one bite,
Yes.
maybe two tops for each child will fill their bellies forever, dude. Because I'm a father. It's about to be my day, and like I know that I'm full off of this. So these little fucks, 2 bites tops of this delicious steak, you're good to go. Because they've also got burgers as well. They're pre-smashed burgers, so you can just kind of roll those up like a little taquito and stuff that through.
They have like potatoes and stuff.
They got everything.
Dude, I love them.
they've got seafood.
It's the best.
They've got desserts.
Yes, they got everything you get. Bob, pull it up. You pulled up crab legs yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
That was a shocker to me. And lobster? I have not gotten that yet. But the smash burgers are incredible.
Yeah.
They're built for the grill smash burgers. Ran that special last month with 16 for free.
Lobster, one of the few foods that you can put inside yourself, pull it out, and eat it.
Yeah.
And it's all fun, like it's safe.
It's all fresh.
Right?
It's all
So,
fresh.
think about
I'm a
that.
catch and release guy, so I don't
Yeah.
even eat it. Just put it right back in the
I
ocean.
keep all the crabs I catch.
Yeah, you sure do. Omaha Steaks makes it easy to deliver an unforgettable gift. This Father's Day shows up in a styrofoam cooler. Cold as shit, dude. It was 107 here the other day, and perfectly fine. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand cut by master butchers. Is OJ one of the butchers? Don't know.
That was just his nickname. at
Okay,
first.
was it? Okay, yeah,
the
I didn't know.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
call him a master. He just gave it a good college try.
Did you see the photos afterwards?
It was a masterpiece.
It was.
Well, he did do a good job, I will say.
Yeah, he left no artery
witnesses.
unturned. Omaha Steaks has been America's original butcher since 1917. Family-owned company with over 100 years of expertise in the meat industry. And again, as D'Anthony mentioned, they're carrying mouth-watering burgers, chicken, pork, seafood, desserts, and easy-to-prepare comfort food. Had those apple tarts the other night, which were delightful. This Father's Day, give Dad the world's best steak experience with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for guaranteed perfect gifts that deliver legendary quality. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout. It's omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with the promo code Drinkin Bros at checkout.
Wait, Harlan McFarland says Dave cheap shots his children when they play wrestle. Is that true?
I don't want to call it cheap shotting. They know it's gonna come, but they don't necessarily know when.
Keep your right up.
That's
when
correct.
When you're throwing your left.
Yes.
Otherwise.
Exactly. You gotta. I mean, how else are they gonna learn?
How many kids do you have, Dave?
Just one.
Oh, okay,
but
cool.
But I train many.
Yeah.
I have several. I mean, the guy knows what he's talking about.
You've got your eye on several others.
And I just wanted to say with you, Reed, I do wish Ron Goldman was here to know that his tips wouldn't be taxed.
Oh,
that's
boy.
really
That'd be a big weight off his chest.
Now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, nailed it. He's he was a big advocate of this.
He'd be so surprised his head would almost fall off.
Sure.
Almost.
Sure would, dude.
Really close.
And he might have to have some reading glasses for this next story here. Nailed it. God, I mean, we can do this all night.
It's fun.
The details that I know about the O.J. Simpson murder are disgusting.
I know.
I didn't even know this about my own family members, for Christ's sakes.
I don't know about any of their murders, but they have been.
I told these guys earlier, I think it was yesterday's show, I was like, I don't even give a shit about history before like 1960. I just don't care.
No. Once everything turned bad with the Manson family, like really kicking it off, it's become quite fun.
Yeah, I don't need the rest of it.
Like it was bloodier probably before, but it's more fun now. You know,
because it's really right there. It's right at our fingertips now.
Yeah.
You know,
it's not our fault. We're observational comedians.
Yes.
And it's not our fault that everything we observe is fucked up.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just how it goes, man.
It
like
is.
if everything was sunshine and rainbows, we would be talking about how rainbows are gay. But
Exactly.
instead, we have to talk about people brutally murdered.
And that'll segue into this, and then we'll do the democracy afterwards here. So we'll talk about the Jews who were executed last night. Wednesday night's attack that killed 2 employees of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C., is part of a long history of assaults against Israeli targets around the world.
Now, are we sure 2 is an exaggerated number?
Not sure if it is in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're both dead.
Did anybody make a 6 million and 2 meme yet?
Not yet.
I'm sure it's coming,
Not
right?
yet.
You got to give it like a week or 20 days or something. I don't know
Yeah,
what
we've got our own app, Drinkin Bros app. That's,
somebody
free.
on there will
Gave
definitely
it
do it.
4 minutes.
Yeah. It was some asshole on there yesterday going, hey, Russ, quit saying it's free. You're stealing my data. I'm like, bro, I don't even like technology. I don't even know what data is, man. You're talking to the wrong fucking person. I don't even know what to do with it. Cool. What the fuck is this? You know?
I can't even use my phone properly.
I can't either. And I hate it. I like this iPhone, this new one is such a piece of shit.
I have the same
and
one.
the AI features, it's like, it's nowhere near.
I don't need...
Nowhere near what the actual conversation
You know what the thing I needed least in the world was? For Google or Apple or whomever it is to summarize my texts and emails.
Thank you.
Yes.
Fuck
Yes.
off.
Thank you.
Like what? I don't need... That's like a solution to a problem that did not exist.
I agree. Ever in this world, and it's always the wrong one. Now, the victims
Final
were a
solution.
soon...
What's that? Sorry.
What's up?
Nothing.
We going to say something, Dave?
I'm just listening.
He was going to say a final solution to a problem that did.
Dave, you're laughing standing over their graves right now.
I'm sorry.
You're a terrible
right.
person.
But I mean,
You're a
we
horrible
said
human being.
solution, and it just Dan picked up on it.
No, I know. Because I got to keep reading. You
I'm
know?
sorry, I
And I love it.
I'm sorry.
I love it.
Please tell me.
The victims, who were soon to be engaged couple, were identified as. You're going to give me these names today? Really? Dan writes the news, and he knows putting a name like this in here is a danger zone for Ross. Yaron Lizchinsky, I think I got that right, actually, and Sarah Milgram. The murders happened outside the Capitol. Yeah, you can pop them up right there. Really great-looking couple, too.
Yeah, that's sad.
And Dave, I don't know if you know this about me. I hate when good-looking people die.
Yeah.
Like, uggos, I don't care. I don't really ever think about it. But this one
Well, we don't even
set me
search
off.
for them, really.
No. Or homeless or anything else. You don't need to. The shooting comes as tensions over Israel's operation in the Gaza Strip have drastically escalated this week amid growing humanitarian concerns, though it's not the first time the war broke out following the deadly October 7th, 2023 attack on Israel that its D.C. embassy has been a target. Since 1969, there have been at least 31 terror attacks targeting Israeli embassies and diplomatic staff across the globe. And here's a breakdown of some of the biggest incidents tracked by the Israeli government.
Yeah, so there's like, I mean, there's so many. There was February of 24, that dumb Air Force kid set himself on fire outside the embassy.
I like that one because it's so much commitment and it's like, good for you.
Well, I enjoyed that.
He did. He jazzed it up.
Like, he removed himself from the gene pool, which is great.
It's wonderful.
There was one in Delhi, India. The diplomatic vehicle was bombed. Let's see, dual suicide bombings in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, which is
Twinsies.
like, how are you? You're in Uzbekistan and you can't find anything better to do than to fucking try to bomb Israel's stuff. Like, you should be trying to get the fuck out of Uzbekistan.
I think they might have been.
That's not the way to do it. I mean, technically, it's the way to get out of all the earth.
That's
I guess.
true. Yeah.
But there's like 30 of these dating back to the late 60s. Germany. You remember what's that movie? Munich?
Yes.
Remember that?
Where he kicked
that
some
Eric
ass.
Bana?
That was in the that was in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
I think 72 Olympics.
It was the hostages and
76 in Montreal. Was that right?
There was
No, I'm sorry. It was Munich.
It was
in
Munich.
72.
Munich, yeah.
I think it was 72.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been going on.
76
forever.
was in Montreal, yeah.
But yeah, Eric Bana's a badass in that movie.
Everybody loves him in that movie, and then
Yeah.
he disappeared and never showed up again.
Oh well, what was the first time? Sorry, you're reading serious stuff, but I'm trying to think. It was
Black Hawk Down.
Have you seen Chopper?
Yeah, Chopper, Black
Chopper
Hawk
is
Down,
awesome.
and then, he's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
He was in very briefly in Lone Survivor as well.
Very huge
Yeah.
supporter of Jews, by the way, too. So,
Well,
Eric Bana.
yeah.
But he's not in Hollywood films.
He's got some problems.
You gotta open their ears.
there was one in Buenos Aires in a bombing that injured 200 and killed 30 in 92. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. So I don't know why. I guess it's interesting, but somebody asked Ilan Omar what she thought, and she said, "I'm going to go for now," and just walked away.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
She didn't give a fuck.
Later on, she
She
said
go
she
fuck
was,
her brother.
Yeah.
Later on, she said she was appalled by the shooting and said that violence is not welcome in the U.S., which you shouldn't have had to have gone off to think about saying that.
No.
That should have been your immediate reaction. Probably.
Yeah.
Well, she had to go in a different room and make cha-ching noises.
Exactly. That's the only thing she can possibly do at this point.
Right.
Bob, is your Twitter up and at him here? Because we have footage of this guy getting arrested right after he killed them. So right after he killed him, calmly sat there. Did you watch the footage?
I have not.
In a black suit?
I've seen
There
this
you go.
footage.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Where were they standing where they were shot? Was it just right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a meeting. Ironically, it was a Jewish group that was meeting here to.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Yeah.
Free Palestine!
Don't get into a shouting match with a guy that just.
So he just murdered two people, yeah, and then they got him outside. So, okay.
His name is Yaron. That's how you say that name, according to our resident Jew in the chat.
So help me out here with this, because I don't get it. Why is this fucking guy even in our country?
Well, he's an American citizen.
So this will lead me to my next question, because you and I have talked about this for the last couple months here on this show, including the Bill Maher thing, that rant that he went on of the left, especially the young, with these protests in Harvard and everything else, which we'll get to later, that are treating these terrorists like they're fucking heroes. Like Hamas is some heroic group, and we're doing something really powerful here. This guy's going to jail for the rest of his life. He might get the death penalty. I don't know what DC's laws are on that.
It's not DC, it's federal, because it's a hate crime, and yeah, he will get the death penalty.
Okay, so with that, standing there saying pretty calmly, saying free Palestine, like zero remorse out of this guy. Doesn't look like he was nervous or anxious or anything else. Later on in the footage, he's just chilling on a bench as they're talking to him, and it looks like he just got out of a steakhouse.
Well, there's like this,
he's wearing a suit and tie, for Christ's sake.
You can track this stuff back. I mean, so there is this natural male inclination, and it's mostly male, to be part of something greater than yourself, and even up to the point of literally sacrificing your life for it, right? That's where we get great soldiers from. It's where we get dudes who do heroic things to save their family members and strangers. So that's in all of us. So our sense of self-preservation extends beyond our person, which is a good thing, right? Because we are communal creatures, so we have to protect things. And when it gets corrupted, there's a light and dark side to pretty much every kind of emotion. And when it gets corrupted like this, then this is the thing that you get. You get people who are unapologetically on the side of people who commit brutality.
Yeah.
Because they are convinced that the other side is worse. And that's all you have to do. You take a young, stupid fuck like this and convince him that one side is worse than the other, and he will do shit like this.
Well, and haven't we kind of poisoned that part of us if this is something that you're considering heroic? I mean, especially you're championing people who hate this country.
Not only hate this country, but aren't even here. And if you actually really wanted to help the cause, and the humanitarian aid and all that other shit is out the window, why aren't you just going there?
And do you,
Well, because he's a coward.
Well, of course.
Of course.
Right? You're shooting an innocent couple who's doing nothing.
Yeah. That's coward behavior. A real man would go suit up. Or he would go to the Israeli embassy with a gun and take on the people that are there guarding it, for example, right? But cowards don't do that. They fucking pick off people that are defenseless, essentially. So it's essentially a corrupted version of a very good instinct that people have, unfortunately. And we're in the period now where you're going to see two things happening. The first is people are going to, and these two things are kind of intertwined to some degree, but first everyone's going to blame anybody who's ever said anything anti-Semitic or anti-Israel for this, which is bullshit, right? Certainly there are people, if you're out there saying that the Jews, collectivist Jew group, is evil and has to be stopped and genocide, blah, 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 well, you're fucking certainly to blame.
Yeah,
there's no question about
that.
There's
more of it now than I've ever seen.
Same here. And Dave, I'll ask you this, because this is the biggest problem that I'm having a hard time finding. And Bob, I just sent you a video here to play after this. They go in as a terrorist attack on Israel, kill 1,600 kids at a festival.
Festivals.
I think it was 1,300 people.
Right, and then they take a bunch of hostages, keep them underground, chop off arms, kill some of the kids and everything else.
Right.
No offense, but that happens here with 9/11. We bomb everything in sight and turn that into a parking lot.
Right.
So that's what it appears, as if that's what Israel is doing over there. Why does anybody have an issue with it? I guess of we only killed 1,500 people. You guys should have stopped at that exact amount. I don't understand the sympathy.
That's postmodernism. So
I don't understand the sympathy for this.
The sympathy is
I don't either.
The sympathy is that they don't live in the real world. They live in a world that has only two things: oppressors and oppressed. And if you're the oppressor, then you're my enemy. Even if I look, think, and feel like you, I have to move over to the side that hates me, like Queers for Palestine, for example. Mm-hmm. That group of people are deeply bought into this.
I thought I ran it well for a while.
Yeah, you did. You did.
You ran
and I found out you're straight. Yeah,
I know.
So if you have to adopt that identitarianism, you have to adopt that ideology before any other really principled stance. This group is the oppressor group, and this group is the oppressed group, and I have to agree with the oppressed group. Otherwise, I'm part of the problem, right?
Isn't it worse now, though? I've never seen, and even when I defend Israel or anything, or I defend Jewish people, I'm called a Zionist. People just jump on it almost immediately to attack you, and I don't understand at all why you would even be for the other side when their entire religion is based on killing everyone.
Yes.
That's what I don't get. And that's not a racist thing to say. That's just literally what their belief structure is nobody should exist but them. But somehow we're anti-Jew. And we've convinced people who are now in colleges and all the... Because I'm sure this guy was indoctrinated somehow to believing all this bullshit.
Well, look, I want to ask you about that because that's a great point. Was he? And if he was, how soon was it? Was it during this period of time? Has it been his entire life? Because it feels like
it wasn't his entire life.
I was going to say, it feels like all of this shit is just in the last year and a half.
I agree. I think it's being pushed out like this, and you see more violence, and you think people are... You're siding with Palestine. And honestly, if you break it down, let's say you're somebody in America, you're doing pretty well. Do you really care about a war going on in another country? Do you
do
really
not.
care?
I do not.
No, neither do I. Be honest with yourself. So you're going to say all these people now who are acting violently, ruining their own lives, where's this coming from?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even care about the war I was in.
See,
I was just trying to make sure that me and the dudes around me survived.
Right.
To be
At what
honest.
point did you not care?
Before I even
and
got
isn't
there.
that your own family too, though? That's what you really do care about at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the people around you. Yes,
Yeah.
Like that
similar to Dan's point. Yes.
you would have this anger where you would actually go and execute 2 people for no reason other than to yell "Free Palestine" while you're being cuffed.
what you wouldn't do is find somebody who's actually Zionist, and maybe certainly those 2 people probably were, right? And just walk up to them and say, "Hey, let's fucking fight." And maybe to the death. Let's fight to the death. No, you have to show up with a gun when they're unarmed because you're a fucking pussy.
Yeah,
Right.
walking out in an evening like that.
Yeah.
Bob,
Then
you
the
have a
oth-
problem still?
Twitter's fucked on
Twitter's getting denial service attacked right
Yeah.
now.
I
But
have it.
my phone, my laptop, and this computer.
on the other
I
side,
have all of it, and usually
Okay,
my
well,
technology
literally
sucks.
the DMs are.
Do you think that's connected?
To Bob's,
Jews.
yeah.
Probably.
Bob hates Jews.
probably the Jews.
Okay, yeah.
The other
yeah,
the other
probably,
side
yeah.
of this is that every neocon in government and the influencer community is going to try to use this to push more anti-Semitism laws.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is
100%.
inappropriate. I don't give a fuck. Like words are not violence,
No.
right? Certainly, if you're out there saying that this group is a danger to society, right? Like the left was doing. By the way, almost all the violence over the past couple of years has been from the left. Like
Yes.
trans
Oh,
mass
yeah,
shooters, leftists trying to kill Trump, all this stuff. This bullshit right here. If you're out there saying that this group is dangerous and we have to do something about this group, that's collectivism. That's not patriotic. There's nothing patriotic about collectivism. That's communist bullshit. We don't do that here. We're not supposed to do that here.
No.
We're supposed to treat people like individuals here. Like there's probably 1,000 other people or tens of thousands of other people who feel exactly like this guy does. And good for them, whatever, I don't give a shit. Feel like he does, but don't take it to that level. And you can't fucking criminalize everybody else who thinks that Israel's doing something wrong because it's their right to think that just because this one guy did some stupid shit. And that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, and Bob, do you have TikTok at least?
Yeah.
All right, pull that up, because pull up the video. This, to your point, that's what this video is instead of killing people in the street, you can just make a fun TikTok video in your car.
Yeah, do a little TikTok
and be
dance.
sad about it. Go to TikTok, you open it.
Well, so the predictability
God
of this.
damn, dude. Fucking A.
The predictability of
Sending
this, like the
himself.
second that, we're like, the second it gets warm out, the second we're just going to start seeing violence from the left.
Yeah.
And it all is just, it's exactly going how we thought it would.
It's the rainy season.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Are we nuked on everything?
Where are you? You didn't send me a message on TikTok.
I'm just going to give you the name.
Oh, okay, yeah,
'Cause
that's fine. Just tell me,
it's-
what is it?
So it's happy chubby mama. And it's Mama, M-A-M-A, which is fun because happy chubby mama here
Right.
has the right idea. If you're going to get sad about it, just do it in your car. There you go.
Right.
That first video right there.
How are people?
So this went viral last night.
How are people sleeping? Like, I am losing sleep over this.
Like a fucking baby.
You're just. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people dying, like starving to death. And we're all just going on with our normal lives. And there's babies screaming and crying because they don't have any milk. They have no food.
It's not true, by the way.
What the fuck are we doing? If you are not standing against this, you are a part of this. What do we do? I am just some fucking mom in Nevada. I don't know what to do to help. Please, someone tell me, what do we do?
Go there.
I'm sitting here watching
Happy chubby mama.
China dropping food, and we're doing nothing but supplying military arms. Like,
Speaking of dropping food and irony.
what the fuck are we doing? I just put my little baby, 18-month-old baby,
She put him down.
to sleep after a
She put him
full
to sleep.
tummy
Damn.
After a full
in
tummy.
a warm bed,
Yeah.
In a hot car.
Yep.
and there are babies covered in flies.
Oh, wait until she hears about Africa.
Oh,
shit.
Over
That's-
here.
This has been going on for thousands of years. Huh?
Yeah.
Please, someone tell me what we do. How do we help?
Yeah.
This is not okay.
Well, here's the first thing, and I don't mean to be rude, but the first thing she should do is lighten up. I would say 80, 90 pounds. Well, should do it.
Happy chubby mama. I've got to see the rest of her.
She should lighten up about 80 to 90 pounds.
I thought she meant her mood.
No.
Oh, no.
You're talking. Oh, yeah.
She's enormous.
Both.
So all this blubbering that you're hearing right now came from this report.
Again, I thought that was weight.
No,
I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
This blubbering that she's doing came from this report that was put out by all of these fucking right-wing dummies. All of these dudes who have gone. It's horseshoe theory. They've gone so far right that they're a part of a terrorist organization now. It's fucking retarded.
Like the guy we had on the other day.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
That was great.
Yeah.
She lives. God, everybody bothers listening to that episode.
So
and the people were like even coming after us of like, oh man, you don't agree? I was like, not with a real racist.
Yeah.
Like no.
Yeah, that was really. Yeah, nobody really is racist here.
No.
Like that was a different level.
Yeah, just the funny parts. But it's like it's horseshoe theory in a way that came from this report that within 72 hours, all of Palestine is going to be out of food and everybody's just going to start dying. And the actual report is it might happen within the next year, maybe. That was the real report.
Either way.
And then so people like this go crazy. I guarantee you that dude who did that killing last night saw that report and said, oh shit, I've got to do something. And look, you take that that natural male instinct to protect, you corrupt it with bad information. And then there's one straw that breaks that camel's back. Like, oh, they're actually going to let babies die? Fuck that. I got to go do something.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do. You're an idiot just like this dumb bitch. And you go out and fucking smoke somebody.
But I mean, she, even at the end of the video here, this is why I wanted to play this, like, she's crying about the babies and the starvation and flies on their face and all that other fun stuff.
Right.
But her 18-month-old baby is either in the back seat of that car or inside the house sleeping.
Right.
And she just had to run out to her car with her phone and put a video on TikTok about what's happening to the children over there. Meanwhile, you just left a child, 18 months old inside the house by itself.
How funny would it be if
It's
the
all
kid
posturing.
the kid's in the fucking detachable car seat just sitting out in the hot sun while she's doing it?
That'd be great.
Or
It's like, my baby's outside getting a tan.
Yeah.
Babies in Palestine can't get
They
tans.
can't get tans anymore. What are we doing? What am I supposed to do?
Since she's in Nevada, it's just left at the
What am I
Caesar's
supposed to
buffet.
do?
Yeah, it's just
But the other thing I said on this show, Dave, and I want to ask you on this is, I said this a while back with the Democratic Party and this split over Palestine and Israel, which their top candidate, in my opinion, should probably be Josh Shapiro.
Yeah.
There is not one fucking prayer you can push him past these people, man.
no.
He's a Jew. Like there's no way.
It's
No, I'm
he
with you.
could
No.
he could win the vote pretty easily. Here's the problem: every campaign event he would do during that fucking 6-month cycle, assholes like her would show up and protest.
100%.
For fucking keffiyehs and get Gaza flags and all this other gay bullshit.
If Jerry Seinfeld can't leave a fucking Knicks game
Right.
to get into a parked car like that's 10 feet outside the arena, you think Josh Shapiro running for president wouldn't be either an assassination attempt like Trump versus one of these fucking guys? I mean, because they just rolled up on 2 innocent people last night that he didn't even know. It was just like, fuck
No,
it.
I was going to say the irony of this bullshit is that Israeli group was meeting last night to try to figure out some way to help the humanitarian problem in Gaza right now.
No, yeah, I think the chick he killed, I haven't read deeply into it, but I think the chick he killed was like very much like a peace activist.
They like this group that they were working with was trying to find out a way to send supplies, some bullshit. They were trying to find out something to do to help the humanitarian issue.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure he was just firing at whomever.
Yeah,
I don't think it had,
anybody
that's the worst part. And I'm not saying you should, but you're not even choosing a target. You're just hurting somebody who's right there.
Yeah.
And I think with this bullshit, you just see, this is just the problem with our culture now is you don't know how to get attention. You haven't had a conversation with somebody that's meaningful. You don't know people in your own life. It's like what you just said about the baby. Her own baby is being ignored so she can go out and get some kind of attention.
And make a TikTok video.
Yeah, and feel like she's doing something when she knows you're doing absolutely nothing. You're just crying in your car.
Do you think she knows that for real?
I think
that's the problem. I don't think people are able to separate it. And even this guy last night, who just casual suit, free Palestine. I just murdered 2 people.
People don't have a very good sense of irony anymore, and that's one of the important parts about comedy and theater is that to satirize what's going on in public, to show people how ridiculous some of this shit is.
Well, how do you
right?
not have self-awareness? I mean, too, if you break down Jews, that was part of the whole thing with, like, show business was the self-deprecation and self-awareness that you just don't see.
Well, that's why the left cult came for comedy first.
Yeah.
Before anybody else. Like, as far as industries go, the first thing they tried to do was come after comedians.
Yes.
And luckily for us, American comedians are fucking psychos. And it's like, nah, fuck you.
No, and they'll push back completely. Where you saw it shift in other places.
Yeah.
But it's all of a sudden, like Hannah Gadsby was just coming out, and you're like, this isn't anything.
Yeah, but universities and corporate structure, I mean, if the universities are obvious because they've been on full display. The corporate structure you've seen through, like, Robbie Starbuck's work, exposing all these assholes for their weird CRT, DEI policies and stuff. It's like, if in some of these ways, if it weren't for the media events that have happened around, if it wasn't for Robbie and his team, if it wasn't for how stupid these kids are on campuses, we might not know how bad it was, to be honest.
Well, but even this idea, like, you would write a sketch about a clinically obese person in their car crying about how people don't have food. And now it's just a real thing a person's doing.
Yeah. I thought this maybe was a parody or something when I fired it up.
That's what I mean.
It got sent in by so many listeners, and they were like, hey, will you talk about this? I was like, yeah, but this is like, pop up that image right
so
there,
I think
Bob.
you're right. There is.
As soon as I saw this, because that's how it came into me and all these DMs and all this other
Right.
shit. As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, this is going to be hilarious. The last thing I was thinking was this fat blonde lady was going to be about Israel and Palestine.
And I'm nothing against her weight. I think it's great that you're damaged, and you probably would appreciate it.
I actually like a little curve, too,
Right.
You know?
A little gout?
I don't mind it.
Yeah, a little bit of gout that you can relieve with
I tell
that
my
dick.
wife every weekend, I'm like, feel free to eat another meal. I don't care. I don't care.
That's why I give Golden Krell gift cards every anniversary.
Do you really?
I do.
Proud of you.
And I'm
That
always
popcorn shrimp really is.
I also put on that Tom Cruise scooter, CRUZ, and I'm like, what do you think about those? Would you ever want to drive one?
You're trying to get your wife hooked up with a rascal scooter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you could be a little bit.
Hey, you don't even have to worry.
rascal.
You don't even have to worry about losing your foot to diabetes.
No,
because you'll just scoot around.
Exactly.
You don't even give a shit.
Yeah, who cares? That's the only way you're going to lose weight is if they take your foot.
Yeah, but going back to the deficit package, I think this issue, if this keeps going on, which it probably will, I don't know how you resolve this because half of the left is all in on one side or the other. If you're going to just show up and start killing Jews in the streets for no reason, what the fuck?
Well, historically, the way it gets resolved is either by an authoritarian right leader within the confines of a democratic system, which is, you might think Trump's that, but Trump's a lifelong Democrat. He's not right wing.
No, he's not.
Or democracy falls apart and authoritarianism actually comes in, right? Like a real dictatorship, which is probably what we have
Here?
in store. It has to.
I hope
I mean, if you look through all of human
so.
history, that's how it's always
I know.
worked.
I hope so.
We'll get into it in this story whenever you're ready, but that's how it always works.
Yeah, and our next sponsor is MyBookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000.
Dave's got to go.
No, Dave's not going anywhere, dude.
You can do your bookie ad first.
No, I want to ask you the question here.
Okay,
Because you're a sports guy.
Yes.
So I've been on fire in the NBA playoffs. Took the live line on the overtime game last night with the Pacers-Knicks. I have not missed on fake news in a very long time.
That's awesome.
Tonight's game, 7.5 though. Timberwolves at OKC. Who you got?
Timberwolves.
Oh, okay. What about you, D'Anthony?
Oklahoma City by 10.
And I'll spin it back to you guys, Delco and Bob.
OKC covered that line game one.
They sure did.
It's not going to happen again.
Easily.
I've lost everything to gambling.
Have you?
Yeah, mostly. So yeah.
Well, shit. What's another hundo?
So you're the Jim Cramer of
hundo,
gambling.
yeah.
I just hedged you. That's actually.
I should come in here and do sports picks and then just do the opposite of what I suggest.
Yeah. Later on.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Delco, who you got tonight?
Give me the Timberwolves to not stay so cold.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Timberwolves are going to do better than you're saying. That's just my honest opinion.
I think the Timberwolves will cover.
And bet Detroit Tigers every time.
And I'm going to lose that game. No. When have we ever bet the Detroit Tigers outside of 1984?
It's the best team in
That's
baseball.
what I'm saying right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Today.
Come on.
They're not winning.
We're
jack shit.
We're going back to the Gibson years.
So far this season, they have the best rotation in baseball.
Exactly.
It's not even close.
So I tell you what, since you're here, I know you're a diehard Detroit fan, Bob. Look up MLB odds World Series. What's the Detroit odds? Because that was probably pretty fucking high.
It's probably very high, but I'm still
You still think the Tigers can win this fucking thing?
I bet
they
it's
can.
like 15 to 1.
Tigers are the 5th favorites.
15 to
What's
1
the number?
probably.
That's
11 to 1.
11 to 1. Shit.
11 to 1?
The Braves are 15 to 1.
Whoa.
Tigers have a better chance.
Wow. They think the Tigers have a better chance than the Braves?
I agree.
Tigers
With
are
that.
dope.
I agree with that.
Tigers play in an
Tigers
easier
pitching
division,
staff.
too.
Yeah, one, they play in a soft division, and two, their pitching staff is elite.
Wow. All right.
Tigers have been in a rebuild the last couple of years. Rebuild's over.
Okay. We heard it
I'm
from Dave
telling you.
Landau. Tigers, dude.
They have
Tigers
the
at
best-
11 to 1.
I think
was-
they have the best pitcher in baseball, too.
I've been pushing the Lions for the last 7 years.
Look, we love the Lions.
Yeah.
I don't know if Homeboy's going to be able to get out of his own way.
Campbell?
Yeah.
I understand, but look how far he's brought us.
Oh, I agree.
I mean,
you
he's
got to
got-
ride it out.
I like Jim Caldwell, though.
You got to ride it out. You got to ride it out.
Yeah.
For sure. And I love him. I love the Hard Knocks. It was one of my favorite Hard Knocks.
Oh,
for the coach. Like, I just wanted to watch him all goddamn day. I didn't even give a fuck about the players. I was like, just let me see the coach.
And
all
had
day.
they done that the year before, I would have been the comedian in that because I was the comedian at that.
Were you really?
Yeah, the year before.
Oh, fuck, dude.
My friend Josh gets it instead.
Really?
Yeah, he was in the special.
Fuck, man. That hurts.
I know it does. I'm watching it like, come on, you could have done last year.
Yeah. All
course
right,
we
I'll
weren't.
throw some money in the Tigers. College football odds are out. Super Bowl odds are out. Lions are up there.
Yeah.
Lions are really high up there.
Dude, it's shocking, but I love it.
I think they're third. So, yeah. This year, the Lions are very good. It would be a fun year. They just got to stay healthy.
And I agree, yeah. And Campbell's just got to realize, like, hey, maybe we don't try to do a Hail Mary at the very end.
He's a bit Ted Lasso.
He's got a lasso. Yes.
It goes for a lot of fourth downs.
Yeah, he's like a very optimistic guy, which is fine.
Sure.
You know, in the locker room, it's fine.
Yeah.
He's confident in himself in the way you would be in a movie, coach.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
Exactly. But head on over to mybookie.com. Place your bets now, bet with us or against us over there. Use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Dave, where are you headed out to? You got another podcast?
Yeah, I got to do another podcast. Then I got 2 shows tonight.
Here in town?
Yeah.
Well, we're live now, so tell them.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, Creek in the Cave at 8 o'clock, and then 10:30 I will be at Mothership.
Oh, fantastic.
doing best of,
If
so-
you have not seen Dave Landau, by the way, not only is he just a good friend in real life, but genuinely one of the few people out there that is an outstanding comedian and a podcaster. I know I've said this before, but I
appreciate
enjoy both, and it's extremely rare to be good at both. So
Thank you
for stopping by and letting us take you for at least an hour here.
And I love you both. I seriously thank you.
Yeah,
You guys are the best
anytime.
at what you do.
Look, you have a standing seat here on Drinkin Bros. We
Thank
love
you, sir.
You can always pop in.
I
That's serious,
appreciate
whenever you
it.
want.
No, I would anytime.
Just roll through.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
If you ever leave early again, though, I'll kill you.
I know.
Okay?
I agree. This is my fault.
Well,
Yeah,
probably
it is.
rape then murder.
Well,
My
is
sacrifice.
it rape if I want it?
Yes,
No, it
I'll
never
find
is.
something you don't want.
I'll make it look like I don't want it. Later, guys.
See ya.
Take care, buddy. Next up, can democracy survive? We've been talking a lot about this lately, the inherent flaws in democracy. So we want to give some historical context from modern and 18th century philosophers. Philosopher Nick Lind, author of The Dark Enlightenment, states, democracy is not only or even a system, but rather a vector with an unmistakable direction. Democracy and progressive democracy are synonymous and indistinguishable from the expansion of the state. While extremist right-wing governments have, on rare occasions, momentarily arrested this process, the reversal lies beyond the bounds of democratic possibility. He continues to say that since winning elections is overwhelmingly a matter of vote buying, and society's informational organs, education, and media are no more resistant to bribery than the electorate, a thrifty politician is simply an incompetent politician, and the democratic variance of Darwinism quickly eliminates such misfits from the gene pool. This is a reality that the left applauds, the establishment right grumpily accepts, I like that word a lot, and the libertarian right has ineffectively railed against. Increasingly, however, libertarians have ceased to care whether anyone is paying attention. They have long been looking for something else entirely, an exit. Now, with the libertarians, I agree here.
Well, I mean, it's all of this is accurate. So the left wants more state, which means more authoritarianism, and the right just accepts it. I mean, look at the Overton window over the last 60 years. Since Eisenhower warned us about what was going to come, we just sat back and were like, oh my God, he was right. But we didn't actually do anything to stop it.
Right.
And we're right now, once again, it's weird how Republicans are so fiscally conservative all the way up until the point when they have power.
Uh-huh.
And then they're like, oh, well, you know, we can't actually do anything about it. And that's what this guy's talking, Nick Lind is talking. By the way, read The Dark Enlightenment. It's a very good book. But that's what he's talking about, how democratic elections are a function of vote buying. And not literally, necessarily. You're not actually paying people to vote for you, but in a way you are. Because right now, the right is trying to pay tipped wage workers to vote for them in the next election by giving them and exclusively them a tax break.
Uh-huh.
Right? That's what it is. And that's the function. So when is any of this sounding familiar to anybody? I mean, this is the road we are on. This Nick Lind guy, that might sound extremist to some people, but that's exactly what the fuck is happening right now. And he's not the first person to make that observation. As a matter of fact, in the 1700s, in the middle to late part of the 18th century, there was a Scottish judge and historian named Alexander Fraser Tytler.
Oh, yeah?
Tytler. No relation to Hitler, I don't think.
Strange.
Although Dave and I talked about this earlier. If Hitler had tits, probably could have looked past a lot of that shit.
And those Tytler shirts would have been fire right
We
now.
should probably make a Tytler shirt, but I think Shopify would kick us off.
Yes,
if we
they
did
would.
that.
Yes, they would shut us down.
But in the late 1700s, this guy, Tytler, says, quote, a democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until voters discover that they can vote themselves largesse from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidates promising the most benefits from the public treasury, with the result that a democracy always collapses over loose fiscal policy, always followed by a dictatorship. Any of that sounding familiar? We have created nearly $40 trillion in debt now because of exactly this right here. And look, we're romantic about things like capitalism and democracy. We have these cute little phrases like, oh, it's not perfect, but it's the best possible option. Well, is it? Are we sure about that? Are we certain that this is the best option?
I'm not. And look, I've said it for, I don't know, the past few months here. The problem is I wouldn't even know where to begin on how to start a process like that or how that process starts or anything else. Because, look, you look at what's happening to Trump now and the ideas and all the other shit. Now, this budget thing that we're unhappy about. I guarantee you, whoever these dickheads are, congressman, senate, whatever, said, look, you want to get this thing passed and get some of the things you want in there, just a couple of the things you want in there, well, you got to do the rest of this shit for us. And he was probably like, fucking A, man. Well, I guess, like...
But that's what Lind is saying, that the right grumpily accepts this.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is why it doesn't work.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, to get everybody on board with something so colossal as a dictatorship in this fucking country, I just don't personally see it happening. However, I think it needs to happen in order to correct everything that's going on. If you look at the judges this week who've gone back and forth about the immigration and all this other fucking bullshit, pulling student visas, and like the left has gone after that of like, oh no, the woman storming the ICE agency with congressmen and mayors and getting arrested and all this other shit. Right. But with that, it's the only way to stop this shit is to say, all right, dude, we're getting these fucking people out of our country. The only way to shut them the fuck up is not have them have a job anymore. And then get all of these people out of here. Even this guy, the fucking guy who murdered the two Jews last night. Like, if you were even at that rally, get the fuck out of our country. Get out, like, altogether. And I know Harvard's pulling visas and all that other shit, and we'll pop that story in because there's a lot of breaking news going on in the background here. But with everything that we're seeing day by day, and with dudes just showing up in suits in the middle of the night killing fucking strangers, like, yeah, dude, what else is left? We're not going to get the things that we actually need in this country anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's if you're still holding out hope that we're going to stop spending, there will be the occasional tax cuts, for sure.
Which is what this is.
Yeah,
however, it comes with a $20 trillion 12-year or 10-year plan that it's like, you cannot reasonably execute that, dude. Even if I sign a Bryce Harper, who's one of my favorite players in MLB, I'm not going to expect him to be great for 10 years. Hopefully I get 8 good years out of him, or whatever, right? But 10 is a crazy expectation, let alone for $20 trillion? No, that's not realistic.
Yeah, it's not. And then, it's like, I think both of these guys, Lyndon and Tiller, are saying the same thing, which is people aren't responsible enough to maintain a permanent democracy. I think that's true.
I do too.
Right? I mean, you can say that it's, I don't care because the principle of democracy is better than the principle of authoritarianism. Okay, you're right about that. That's true. But are you basically what you're saying is, because I want it now, I'm going to lay off this debt onto other people, and they're going to have to go through this depression or currency evaporation and then fight, literally, like militarily fight to get back any kind of rights whatsoever. And there's a conversation to be had there as well. Like, do you have the right to push the negative aspects of democracy into the future to your ancestors and make them suffer because of your choice to state principle? I think that's a reasonable question to ask, frankly.
It's happened in this country before.
Certainly has. It happens in every country all the time, actually.
They kicked slavery down the road for 30 plus years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we did it in Reconstruction, too. We kicked Reconstruction down the road for 65 plus 15, so 80 years, basically, right? We do it all the time, and it always ends poorly. You know what I mean? Because every generation refuses to accept responsibility for what they've done. And maybe that's just another sign that we can't do it. But history suggests that it's true that we don't have the responsibility or I don't even know what you would call it, the will even, or the discipline to maintain a permanent democracy. So I guess the question is then, is there another solution to this? Or should we just accept the fact that we're going to perpetually aim to achieve enough comfort for democracy, knowing we'll have to bear future tyranny to bring it to heel? Right? So that, to me, those seem to be the two options. Are we going to veer off of this democratic republic into something more like a dictatorship and deal with the problem of succession to try to find good leaders every time and be willing to get violent to do that?
Yeah.
Or are we going to deal with, because democracy has a longer shelf life, frankly. Like one dictator is going to last 15 to 40 years at the outset, right? And democracy, when it pops up, lasts a couple hundred, right? But the effects are the same.
Yes.
Ultimately. So are we just like, maybe it's true that we're just choosing it because it lasts longer. I don't know, but I think it's worth talking about.
So do I. And Bob, I'm glad you brought up the slavery point there. So ironically, I mean, just out of happenstance, writing super late last night, just throwing something for like 15, 20 minutes to go to sleep. Lincoln was on YouTube TV because it's still like a cable network, you know? It's just like, all right, cool. I turned it on last night, and I was just like, all right, just for a good laugh.
Lincoln is the kind of leader we need right now. A guy who will, people hated him for it. He suspended habeas corpus, right? He kept this country together. This country would not exist in its current form, or at all, maybe, if it weren't for Abraham Lincoln breaking every rule in the Constitution.
But yes, and exactly. And then Bob, to that point, as I'm watching it last night, the 20-minute segment that it was on, because it was, I don't know, it's like a fucking 4-hour movie, that popped up, was him having to go around to all of these congressmen trying to get them to, really fight to end slavery. And it was like, Jesus Christ, man, if it was that big of a fight, and like he's tearing his hair out every night and everything else.
By the way, it wasn't even, all the Southerners weren't in Congress.
Right. And it's
so
like,
it was only a northern and border state Congress.
That's it. And he still had to suck their dicks to try to get this passed. And I was like, fuck, here we are, almost 200 years later, and we're still dealing with this bullshit? Like, the one thing that I can say that everybody voted for was the immigration thing. I think it was an 80-20 issue. And still, you have endless judges trying to block this shit, keep these people here, these dipshits that we played yesterday interrupting Rubio and trying to save the Maryland father, who's the gang member, and all this other shit. For what? For what?
Because everybody, that midwits choose a side and defend their side. Midwits and grifters, that's what they do. And that's what most people are, especially people who rise to power or notoriety, because that's how you do it, right? There's a game to it. Smart people and honest people have principles that they defend. And maybe those principles change over time. They learn new information. Like, oh, you know what? I've got a better perspective now. I think this now. And that's fine. That's a good thing to do, right? And it's good also to have people in different tranches, like different parts of their life, because we all live different experiences. So you've got the young guy that still thinks this way, arguing his case. You got the old guy who now thinks this way, arguing his case. Like Churchill said, a young conservative has no heart and an old liberal has no brain, right? So all these are necessary parts. The problem is that we see it now as everything is fucking life or death. Every single issue. It's like you've got to there's no perspective to it. It's not like the young guy saying, I understand why old people might feel that way.
Yep.
And that's good. Represent them and let them do their part. This is how you think as an individual, by the way, not collective is bullshit. And then we have the older person not thinking like, let's ban weed and fucking porn and all this other bullshit. It's like, no, it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah. Or
but that's how it,
it's the mom in her car.
That's how it gets iterated. Yeah.
It's the mom in her car crying.
Everybody's a zealot now, instead of just a person who's reflecting on their circumstances, which is a normal thing to do. It's a normal thing to do to have an opinion, and you and I sit down and argue with each other about it.
Yeah.
And then decide, well, you and I can't come to an agreement on this, so I'm going to do my thing and you do yours. But all this other stuff we agree on, so we're going to do that together. We're going to do these things apart. That's a normal way to go about it, and that's what a responsible democracy would look like. But that is not what we are.
No, and we're nowhere near it. And with the level of judges and these different courts and everybody trying to overstep what the Constitution actually says and make decisions for things and halting everything. Not only can we get our own Congress and fucking Senate to agree on bills and packages and all this other bullshit, but then on top of it, executive orders don't even work anymore because there's some fucking dickhole judge and butt-fuck San Francisco who wants to stop it, and like, all right, you don't have the right to do that.
Yeah.
But then legally, you still have to go in there and fight that to overturn his bullshit.
I mean, it's so crazy. Like, he's got to go to court to prove that they don't have legal standing to even do what they're doing.
But we already know that.
It's fucking retarded.
And all of us know it. Like, all of us. The judges included. I mean, those bar exams are legit. I don't know anybody, well, one, if you believe the Tom Hanks movie with DiCaprio. But Bob, your parents are both lawyers.
What, the Catch Me If You Can thing?
Yeah. Has anybody ever shown up and magically passed the bar?
Yeah, I've read about that happening before, certainly, like hyper intelligent people. But like, I mean, look, I've said this before, with being a lawyer or a doctor or anything, there are certain personality types who aren't necessarily terribly like intuitive or whatever, but they're very intelligent in information retention and stuff.
Retention
like that.
and organization.
Yeah.
They're good, what we would call a good test taker.
Yeah.
But when it's time to actually think, they're fucking stupid.
Right.
There's a big segment of that. And I would say they get really drawn into doctor lawyer jobs.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially.
Absolutely. That's a huge and by the way, it's good to have a very high standard for those things, right?
Yeah.
But it will draw in a lot of people who are not, I guess I hate to say street smart or whatever, but they're just not very intuitive people.
No, you're right. So I'll give an example. My best friend growing up, his dad was one of the most one of the best doctors in the state of Georgia. Outside of being a doctor, when he came home to the house, he was one of the dumbest men I'd ever talked to. Everything else besides being a doctor, like his wife used to make these jokes of like, tell him to go change a fucking light bulb. He can't do it. And it was like, it was true. Like, the guy was super great at that. He could retain everything about being a doctor. He was the best, one of the best in the state, rich as fuck. Anything else in real life, he was a fucking moron. And like, it was mind-altering.
There's also areas within those professions where that's exactly the type of person you want, like a specialist surgeon or contract law. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
That's the exact type of person you want in that situation. But there are other legal and medical situations where, yeah, you need someone who has a little bit more intuition and probably wasn't first in their class and that type of thing. Yeah.
And with all of that, like, I don't know where this all heads. Is this what I voted for Trump-wise? Yes. Does it feel like to me he's going to have to fucking bend to get some of this shit through with all this stupid other shit? Yeah, and that's not going to make him look great. And but I also, on the other side, I don't know how you do it without bending over to these fucking ass clowns and making sure their stupid shit gets in there. Like, it's a no-win situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, so if let's say you get hired as a CEO of a company and you start to review the company and find all these inefficiencies and fraud, waste, and abuse, some intentional, some bureaucratic, right? That happens. The CEO of that company does one thing really quickly, fires everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you can't fire Congress.
And that's the issue.
You can't fire these systems.
Nope.
You can't fire the Constitution if it's wrong. By the way, people are romantic about it, but it's been wrong a bunch. We've amended it a bunch, right? Or it's either been wrong or unclear on certain things, and we've amended it to adjust to that specific point. Well, we need a CEO who's going to fire. And in the current system of government we have, that's not possible. So our system of government must change, or the system of government will not persist.
And I know I've said this.
This is why, by the way, this is why Rome had the dictatorship model, which is where I call some old some old senator of Rome or a former consul or proconsul. I'm like, hey, shit's all fucked up down at the Aventine. Like everybody's crazy down there. We're not getting our grain shipments on time. I need you to go in there and fuck shit up. And the guy would go down there. He would have 6 months on average to get his job done, and he would fuck shit up. And if you were legally not allowed to say no to him. And if you did, you would be imprisoned for it, right? I think we need that. I think we need a fucking budget dictator. No other power. He has no power. He can't kill people. He can't do this, can't do that.
Thomas Massie.
Yes. He can't do any of this shit. He is a budget dictator, and nobody, including Congress, can say no to him.
But that is essentially what Jerome Powell does to a certain degree with interest rates and everything else.
Only with interest
rates. The Treasury?
Though. Only with interest rates. He has no, like, as far as spending goes or taxation, he has no power. We need somebody with total power of the economy. One person.
Thomas Massie.
Yeah, I would do that, yeah.
Do you think both sides would vote for
I
him?
would do Thomas Massie. I wouldn't, the only reason I wouldn't choose, like, somebody like Elon Musk, for example, is because he has private financial interests.
Correct.
It would have to be somebody else.
I agree. Thomas Massie, that is all he has cared about during his entire term is the budget.
Yeah, he's a libertarian. I mean, honestly, other than just like generalized self-ownership, the budget is going to be the most important thing to them. Ron Paul's been bitching about this for fucking, 60 years now?
Oh, yeah, dude. And Trump
about
ended up
literally everything.
Torching Massie for it, and was like, hey, you got to get rid of him.
Yeah, he's got Trump's got nothing to say to all the fucking Republicans, the neocon, rhino motherfuckers. He saying Mike Johnson and Thune are doing good jobs. Are you fucking kidding me? He's talking shit to the Freedom Caucus, the House Freedom Caucus, who are the libertarian side, and not about the people who are fucking taxing the shit out of us and spending all of our goddamn money.
Right. Go ahead and play this clip, Bob.
What are you planning to tell the fiscal hawks who want to delay? I'm a fiscal
hawk. Turn this up, please.
I'm a bigger fiscal hawk. There's nobody like me as a fiscal hawk.
Massie said this adds more deficit than Biden did, and this bill kind of...
Because we have to fix the country.
Do you think that Thomas Massie is correct in saying that this is adding Biden level?
No, I don't think Thomas Massie understands government. I think he's a grandstander, frankly. He'll probably vote. We don't even talk to him much. I think he should be voted out of office. And I just don't think he understands government. If you ask him a couple of questions, he never gives you an answer. He just says, I'm a no. He thinks he's going to get publicity. And you have that. You have that. They've got some, too. Go ahead.
Mr. President, on Medicaid.
So, with this...
That's a cute story, but Trump and AIPAC both came after Thomas Massie in this last election, and he won 99.6% in the primary, and then in the general, he... didn't get challenged.
And by the way, I believe he is the most liked congressman on both sides. And,
I would say,
there was a private vote, I guess, where they used to do this for Sports Illustrated for golfers back in the day. And they would say who the biggest asshole was on tour, who their favorite was. And this private poll on both sides was Massie. So if you were going to have somebody like this for this job, it would definitely be him. With Trump, obviously he's saying this because he can't get shit done without the rest of these assholes falling in line.
I mean, and
there was one of those votes last night, because they won by one, that they weren't there.
Yeah.
It was Harris. And I don't know who it was, but I guess an aide was allowed to vote for it.
Yeah.
And how is that legal?
I don't know. I mean, Adric in the chat mentioned Thomas Massie and Javier Milei. Javier Milei did it by himself in Argentina.
He did.
He took that country from hyperinflation, like 2,700% inflation, to they've been in the green for like 4 quarters in a row now. But just by himself, just by cutting stupid bullshit. That's it. Yeah, I mean, it can be done. Like a lot of the stuff that Trump's gotten done could only be done because it was him doing it. You can't, certainly you can gripe about this or that with foreign policy so far, but it's hard to find mistakes he's made, honestly. Like the Russia thing has taken longer than he said. He probably should have not use so much hyperbole about the time span that it was going to happen in. But that's been going pretty well. If it weren't for Trump being in office, Israel would have nuked Iran by now.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. The most brilliant piece of foreign policy, American soft power in action, which is to say, when I say soft power, I mean statecraft, offering people economic help or access to our economy in exchange for good behavior, has worked extremely well. The Abraham Accords is the best example in all of American history of American soft power. We may never see something like that again, to be honest. So all that's been good. And from Trump's perspective, with this economy stuff, I understand. It's easier to try to get a couple of people on the fiscal hawk side to make some progress than it is to get all of these pieces of shit in Congress to make any progress. You know what I mean? So if you're looking at, if you've got two piles of rocks and there's like a small pile over here and a large pile over here, and the goal is to get all of them in a pile, it's a lot easier to move the small amount to the large amount. Unfortunately for us, it's adding $20 to $30 trillion to our debt, and it's not going to work. Right. So I understand why you would do it as a businessman. I get it, the strategy, but it's not working. And the math doesn't work. It just doesn't work. There's no way to do that.
Yeah.
And then you have to, not only adding the 20 to 30 trillion, but then you also, for fuck's sake, you also have to, as we've spoke about earlier, depend on Congress and the future presidents for another 12 years. That is a fucking pipe dream.
Yeah.
That'll never happen.
No, I don't think so either. But here we are. Because I understand it from both sides, what Trump is doing and everybody else. Going after Massie, though, unnecessary in my opinion. Unless, if you want to go after Massie, say this. Hey, I will make you the head of my fucking treasury or did he offer it to him? Secretary of Treasury?
They didn't offer him anything. I mean, the smartest thing, if Trump really wanted to get Massie out of the way, because Massie wins 60 to 70% of the vote in his district, he's never going to lose.
I think he offered him that job, though.
No.
He didn't.
No.
Okay.
The smartest, the thing that he was going to be offered was Secretary of Agriculture.
I didn't know.
That would have put him out.
Put him out, yeah. But for me, if he's just sat down with him behind the scenes and said, hey, man, let's go through the numbers. Here's what I'm trying to do. Here's why we can't do it and everything else. Because with Massie, I will say this. Like, he's been bitching about this for years on both sides. And rightfully so. Our debt is out of fucking control here in the United States. But also, he hasn't taken a job or really fought to do something that would advance his position to press it through. Even, 'cause I know you like Ron Paul. Ron Paul ran for president. Ron Paul was one of the first ones besides Ross Perot to say, hey, America is a fucking business and we need to run it like this.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Ron Paul it was a mistake for him to run for president. I don't think libertarians, libertarianism isn't a political position. It's an addendum to one. So there's right-leaning and left-leaning libertarians. It comes in both forms.
Yeah.
So it's not like right or left. It's not like conservative or liberal. What he should have done, and what was very effective, I mentioned this before in the 24 election, and what Massie should be doing now, probably, in addition to Mike Lee, who's the Senate version of Massie, is understand that you hold the keys to a very large voting bloc, right? Nationally. Just because Thomas Massie's only running for Congress in Kentucky doesn't mean he only has influence in Kentucky. He has influence over every libertarian.
Yeah.
Just by being one.
Yeah.
So, and if I were Thomas Massie, what I would be doing instead of just saying no to votes is I would be doing outreach every single day directly to libertarians saying, hey, the people that your guy in this district is not living up to what we said. Libertarians, think about that when it's time to vote in 26. That's how I would wield that power, frankly. And because it was very effective. We saw it in 2024.
Yeah.
Trump went to the Libertarian National Committee and said, I'll free Ross Ulbricht. I'll do this, this, and this. I'll pardon fucking Homeboy,
and he did it in like a
WikiLeaks
week.
guy. Yeah, it's like all the stuff that not all, but a lot of the stuff he said he was going to do with them has been done. And that coalition is one of the reasons he won that election so well.
Yes,
right?
and they were amped when he got in and actually did the shit he said he was going to do.
So I mean, that's
including the guy that was on our show was Spike Cohen. He goes, "Holy shit!
Yeah,
can't believe this fucking happened within a week."
So it's like, that's the power of the libertarian. It's not your vote in Congress. It's not your influence over your local district. It's your influence over this large voting block, this growing voting block, actually, that are former center left and center right people who are tired of this two-party bullshit. And now you can tell them how to vote.
Next up is our next advertiser, bioproteintech.com. Guys, here's why your hormones suck. Most guys are focused on testosterone, but that's not even half the puzzle. In order to absorb testosterone optimally, you must have adequate growth hormone, more specifically, its end result growth factors. Unfortunately, growth hormone decreases year after year as puberty keeps chugging along. And that might explain your poor performance in the gym, excess body fat, or even your performance in the bedroom. Yeah. Oh, shit, Daddy. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling a little weak, a little limp in here. Oh, fuck. Sorry, that's not the copy. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus gives you back those growth factors naturally, giving you HGH-like results with 0 needles, 0 side effects, and 0 doctor visits, all at a fraction of the cost of prescription treatments. So, if you want to fix the way you perform, look, and feel without all the risk of the big pharma synthetic stuff, head on over to bioproteintech.com to learn more, or click the link in the audio or video description here and use the promo code Drinkin Bros for $30 off your first order. You see it up on screen there. It comes in a nice little vial. Pop it right underneath your tongue right before nights, and well, I do. It says morning for everybody else. For whatever reason, I sleep great on it, so don't come at me anymore of that bullshit, dude, all right? Daddy needs some sleep, so yeah, whatever helps, and for me, it does. And you can take it right before you go to the gym, right in the morning, whenever you want. It's great for your skin, too, and yeah, man, it's been a nice little added benefit to First Form and all the other stuff that I take throughout the day, as far as just keeping me alive and going. Next up, D'Anthony, I'm going to have you read this one so I can piss here. I got to take a little tinkle. Ooh. Let's go to the Pope's house here. All right?
Yeah, this is a good one. Where's it? Bob back?
Yeah.
So this is this is my funny story for the week, I guess. The Illinois town where Pope Leo XIV's Boyhood home stands is planning to acquire the residence through eminent domain laws, despite it being currently up for sale. So whomever owned it before was trying to sell it, which is really funny.
By the way, when did it go to market?
Like recently.
So probably after he was elected?
You would think so. If not, you got to pull it down and relist it for like 10 times more than
That's what I'm saying. Like, this house is worth something now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I think this is probably the best thing, and they'll certainly, the seller is still going to get a great price for it, even through eminent domain. Like, if you get an attorney, a good attorney, they're not going to be able to just steal it from you. Maybe in Illinois, I don't know, but in Illinois, I think, even in Illinois rather, I think you'll probably be able to get a good deal. But the home's current owners reportedly trying to sell the home may have a little choice. Under Illinois law, the village has first choice on the property through eminent domain. Blah, blah, blah. The city can acquire the home through eminent domain, the government's ability to take private property for public purposes. The village of Dalton intends to purchase this home either through direct purchase or through eminent domain powers, blah, blah, blah. I think it would make a lot of sense for the city to give this person a really good price.
And then now, eminent domain, is this to make it a historical site?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because it immediately becomes a historical site.
It is right now. Yeah.
Like it has become the same way like Lincoln's Boyhood or anything like that. So
it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom home. The only thing that eminent domain really, so that they'll be able to negotiate a price. The only thing is if somebody else comes in and bids more, that's not going to mean anything at this point. Now, we will do what the Archdiocese thinks is best to preserve the home so that everybody, not just in Dalton or the south suburbs, but worldwide, can come to the home. That's a reasonable thing. Village officials are working with the Chicago Archdiocese to turn the home into a historic site. I'm sure the Archdiocese is doing all the paperwork because they're pretty good at that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church has a lot of historical site landmarks in the U.S. that they own.
Is this his house right here that we're looking at?
Yeah.
That's a tiny little.
No, it's
little
three and three. It just looks weird from the front.
3 bedrooms, 3 bath.
Yeah.
Square footage. What are we looking at there, Bob?
Just under 5,000. Oh,
This house?
no.
Whoa.
The house is 1050. The property itself is 5,000. That was
5,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1,000 square foot house. That makes sense.
The current owner purchased the home for 66,000. I don't know when, and renovated it this year before putting it on the market. So somebody was trying to flip it. I don't think they even knew it was his house. Probably.
No way.
Now, this is really.
This is a great story.
Yeah, this is smart of the town because you want to talk about generating perpetual revenue. I mean, certainly he will be Pope for 10 to 15, maybe 20 years if he lives a long time.
Yeah.
But this will be a landmark forever. This is the first American Pope, and this is where he grew up, in this home right here. They'll be able to make immense revenue.
Catholics will pay a pretty price to go in and look at the inside of this house. Also, if you want to give the old classic humble beginnings trope, this is it.
Yeah.
I mean, 1,000 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths.
And also,
it's tight.
If it's like, let's say they charge $100 to get in.
Well, I don't think they do that.
No, they should.
It'd be like a Betsy Ross sitch where
they should charge money to get in for the church.
$18.
Like give half of the city and half of the. I would pay $100 to shit in the Pope's toilet.
Well, I don't think they're going to let you shit in there. Now,
well, I don't see why not.
Because you didn't lead with that. If you would have led with that, then yeah, I'm paying $100 to take a shit in the Pope's toilet.
Yeah, I would pay. I would pay $100 to dump out in the first American Pope's toilet.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes,
and I don't think I would pay more than that.
But I want that in the contract that I sign. Like, hey, dude.
Well, here's what they could do because you don't want to fuck it up. They could issue tags. Like they do for hunting. Like you can only hunt this amount.
Sure.
And you only 50 people can dump out all year in the Pope's toilet.
Right.
And then you're like, not only would I $100, fuck that. I would pay fucking $5,000 for that probably. You know what I mean?
Man, $5K to shit in the Pope's toilet?
Yeah, but if you're one of only 50 people allowed to do it, and you pay your $5,000 for the year, and you can show up and shit in there anytime you want.
Oh, so you get a lifetime pass?
Not lifetime, just for that 1 year.
Oh, 1 year.
Yep.
Okay, a 1 year pass to shit in the Pope's toilet whenever you feel like it. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal at all. The only problem I foresee is this in the middle of a residential neighborhood, Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is. So obviously
may have to buy the whole block.
And the traffic and all that other stuff would be
crazy.
crazy.
If I'm the neighbors on either side or even on that street, I'm calling an attorney right now and be like, hey, this eminent domain claim the city is making is going to affect my livelihood, my property.
Yeah.
And you got to buy mine too.
Oh, and I'm sure they would. The Catholic Church definitely would.
Yeah.
What is this listed at all?
It was, yeah. I don't know.
It was. What were they asking for it before?
Yeah, can you find the address?
Just curious to see the original price tag on this thing. Because I can't imagine this would be more than $300,000.
It's 212 East 141st Place. 212 East 141 Place. In Dalton,
Nobody lives
Illinois.
there, right? I don't want to.
212 what? East?
No, a guy's flipping it.
Okay, gotcha.
They bought it, and they're gonna,
man,
flip it.
212 East what?
I've got it. East one.
How much is it?
I'm looking. I think they pulled it off the market. Let me see if I can find the latest price. So the listing was removed on the 8th of this month. And it was listed.
No way.
It was listed for $199,900.
Wow.
And then they relisted it with no price attached.
So it's an auction
on the 15th. It would have been an auction, yeah. But now the city's trying to. Now the city's.
That's
like,
a better picture.
The Pope's home on Zillow.
All right, let's see inside of it.
That's
nice.
They renoed.
Yeah, they renoed the whole thing, dude. See, I'm telling you, you can go take a nice dump in the Pope's toilet.
But it's not going to be his toilet. And that's
It'll
the problem.
be his pipes. Your turd touched the same pipes.
Yeah, your turds in his pipes.
But I want to go cheek to cheek. Like I want that cheek heat still
that's
there.
Fair, yeah.
I think just maybe the Catholic Church pays the Pope to come poop in it one time.
Oh, so he can say that he did it.
Yeah. Like I mean, he's certainly. Let's be. I don't know how long he lived in this house. Let's just say, for sake of argument, because he went to high school there, then he went to college there too, right? In Chicago.
No, he went to college in Nova.
He went to Villanova.
He went to Villanova.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so Philly.
Big backyard.
Pope probably jacked off in one of those rooms.
Easily.
I mean, definitely did if he stayed to like 14 or 15.
I bet he got his first beach there in the basement. Was there a basement shot you just pulled up there,
There
bro?
is a basement, yeah.
Is there a washroom?
In true Midwestern fashion, only half finished.
It's unfinished.
Oh,
it's half,
always.
Half, you got.
Always.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah. We had an unfinished basement growing up too. So that go back, Bob. Because that wash room right there, that looks like an original. So he probably washed the cum off his hands there in that sink. So I don't know what that's worth as far as ticket price, to get into it.
Maybe
but
had some-
that looks like it's an original. That's not a new one. So yeah, there's a good shot. Some of his semen is still in that drain. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean it's there. If you scrape out the pipes under, there's Pope,
Who knows?
There's
What you're gonna
Pope
get.
cum down there.
Oh yeah,
you
it's a
could
lot.
clone the Pope.
I think so, right? Aren't they trying to clone Jesus with the Shroud of Turin right now?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, the Catholic Church has had the shroud for hundreds of years, so I don't know if they would be doing that or not.
But we
'Cause it'd be
finally
pretty
have
cool.
the technology.
Well, yeah, we do.
I mean, the Scottish cloned Dolly like fucking 30 years ago. Remember that sheep?
And by the
It was
way,
like 95, right?
I didn't even know until recently that Barbara Streisand was doing all her fucking cloning dogs in the 80s. Like, where was that at? Nobody knew about that bullshit.
I think somebody told me that each one of them lasts less. Like each one of them dies a little.
It's a
younger
real.
or something like that.
It degrades quite a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Once you're a clone, your lifespan gets shorter and shorter.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have that, and all of this is.
I think we need to
get.
get somebody mentioned in the chat just now. I think we need to get the Pope's brother on the show.
Yes.
Can we?
I mean, he's
I don't think
fucking.
is he doing interviews?
He's just lighting people up on Facebook all day. He's got
used to.
time.
We're gonna have him by next week.
You think so?
Yeah, he'll be on. He'll write a book.
He'll be in studio.
What's his name?
Dave Pope.
Dave Prevost, maybe.
Dave Pope.
Is it Dave? We always say that on the show. It would be great if it was Dave. By the
Get
way.
Ari on it.
Yeah, I will if you give me a fucking name. Bob, how do you not know this by memory already? He's your Pope, dude.
Yeah, but his brother's not.
Yeah, I don't care about his brother, but
Luis.
he can be on the show.
Louis Provost.
Oh, Louis. Sweet Lou. That's right. Lemon Pepper Lou, dude.
Lou and Leo.
Yeah.
Just two fucking L boys hanging out.
Let's get-
fucking. I want to ask him, like, hey, do you think your brother jacked off in that fucking room?
Yeah.
And
he seems like a real straight shooter on Facebook, so I have no reason to believe he wouldn't give us an honest
wait, who
answer.
did he called somebody a cunt, right?
Yeah.
Pelosi. Yeah.
By the way, they have.
He'd be a great fit for the show.
Yes,
Great
he
shot.
was,
Oh
yeah.
God, it'd be.
He might become a permanent cast member.
Seamless transition. Yeah, he's our Drinkin Bros Pope.
Yeah.
We make him Pope of Drinkin Bros. It'd be fucking.
We have
great.
we have the power to do that.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. And I'll do an extra dash of holy water for that if
We
you
could
want.
do Pope Bros. It'd be a new show.
Oh yeah, just it's just brothers of the Pope, dude. They're just like, yo, fuck my brother, dude. What an asshole. What are the property taxes running there? Last question. Run that down there in Illinois.
Illinois.
They're not
Illinois
super
got
high.
high
It was like
property taxes.
$5,000 for the year, I think, is what I saw.
For a 1,000 square foot house?
Yeah, which is it's not great.
It's pretty high.
Tax assessment. Annual tax amount $7,000.
Oh,
God
that's
damn.
brutal.
For a 1,000 square foot house?
For my house, that would be almost $30,000.
Yes.
Jesus
Which
Christ.
is what it is in Texas.
For commercial, not for residential.
Oh, for residential, friend.
Mine didn't go up that much.
There's no current available estimate. There's no current available.
Because
You can't. It's fucking priceless, dude. That's
But usually
wild.
they'll still give Zillow will still give like an estimate on what it's worth. But
Zillow's
now-
not going against the Vatican.
But now because
The Vatican probably bought Zillow.
Yeah, they were like, hey, dude, that's priceless. So back the fuck up.
Realtor.com just has auction posted on there.
So does Zillow.
It just says it's an auction.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
What about Redfin? Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing.
That's the same thing. Look, we know what's going on, dude.
Redfin actually had it listed so they still have the price up. It was listed at auction with a base price of $250, so it only goes up from there.
Oh shit, you're looking at easily $500,000.
Who's the owner of this? Thought it was up? They had the house of the fucking first American Pope listed for $200,000, and they find out it's his, and like, oh shit, let's list it for $250. Like, no, $80 million. What are you talking about?
Some dummy, and then they swooped in and said, hey, dude, it's a professional company. Let us take over.
That's
this.
probably
We'll get you
why the Catholic Church is stepping in, because this guy's a dipshit.
Yeah, they had some, dinky realtor from the area who was like just had dollar signs in his eyes, but didn't know what he was in over his head at this point.
No, that's like, I can get you $250.
That's not enough dollar signs.
I know.
Well, most people don't know, that's why you got to go back to college. Speaking of which, our next sponsor here is hillsdale.edu/drinkin. to enroll. There is over 40 free online courses here. Hillsdale College is offering 40 free online courses. That's right, more than 40.
No way.
Yeah.
This is blowing my mind right now.
What? Hillsdale?
Tiffany Henyard, that crazy black mayor and county commissioner.
Yeah.
That's the town she was the fucking mayor of.
Really? What are the fucking chances of that?
Oh, my God. This is blowing my mind right now.
Whoa, dude. The Pope's in way over his head right now. He doesn't know.
He might have to take her down.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Can you believe that? That's fucking crazy. Of all the, like,
surprised.
south suburbs in Chicago is a big-ass area.
know.
There's a ton of fucking little towns there.
And that's the one, huh?
Holy shit.
Fuck.
All right, I'm not even going to be able to do the rest of the show.
Probably
Dude,
not.
she's getting in on this.
Oh, fuck
Oh, yeah.
she is,
She's
dude.
definitely getting kickbacks.
Yeah, she's getting money for this. Time is our most precious commodity. We've heard from a ton of our listeners who have asked advice on how to spend it more wisely on improving themselves or people around them. Dude, just pick up a fucking book and read, or just go online and do it, all right? Hillsdale.edu/drinkin has history, economics, great works of literature, meaning of the U.S. Constitution. Matter of fact, one of their free online courses is Constitution 101 on there. And this 12-lecture course is self-paced, so start whenever and wherever you want. Our country needs more Americans who understand the Constitution and help can defend the freedom of the American people against the encroachments of increasingly large and unaccountable governments.
Yeah, you don't want to
apropos for today.
You don't want to end up like that dummy the other day who doesn't realize he's making the same arguments that the British and Irish and Italians and everybody else had made for 250 years in this country.
Before us.
You don't want to be an idiot. Like, if you're going to talk about history, understand it. Maybe just a
Understand
little
it.
bit.
There's a great passage from, we used to do old newspaper clippings on softcore, and it was in the St. Louis Post-Dispatch talking about going to the Hill, which is the Italian neighborhood. And it was basically, the thing was like, if you go there, you will be stabbed.
Dago Hill?
Dago
Yeah,
Hill.
Dago Hill, dude. So go right now to hillsdale.edu/drinkin to enroll. There's no cost. It's easy to get started. That is hillsdale.edu/drinkin to register, or click the link in the show notes or the audio description here at hillsdale.edu/drinkin. Next up, expelled, not repube Nancy Mace. Is it Nancy Mace?
Well, she's not getting expelled.
Thank God, dude. Okay. I saw the name there. You write the news every week, and I was like, we getting rid of those fucking titties? Because that's not great. We don't want that in America. So she introduced a House resolution on Wednesday to expel Democratic. Okay, there we go. New Jersey Representative LaMonica McIver, who earlier this week was served with federal charges for allegedly assaulting law enforcement officers this month while protesting at a federal immigrant detention center. On May 9th, McIver didn't just break the law, she attacked the very people who defend it, Mace said in a press release. And then she said, attacking Homeland Security and ICE agents isn't just disgraceful, it's assault. If any other American did what she did, they'd be in handcuffs. McIver thinks that being a member of Congress puts her above the law. It doesn't. She should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, Nancy Mace said. The Department of Justice announced federal charges against McIver on Monday, accusing her of assaulting, impeding, and interfering with law enforcement earlier this month at a Newark area immigrant detention center known as Delaney Hall. McIver was protesting at the detention center with two other members of Congress to conduct what they claimed were congressionally mandated oversight duties. Ross, R-A-S, not R-O-S-S, thank God. Baraka, want to take a guess on the ethnicity of that young gentleman? It's black, the mayor of New York, in New Jersey here, after he was put in handcuffs, allegedly pushed an ICE officer and used her forearms to forcibly strike the agents. To me, I've watched this footage, I don't know, 10 times, 12 times. It's pretty open and shut here. I don't really...
Yeah, I mean...
what are you fighting against?
She's definitely getting charged with a crime, and I'm sure they'll let her plea down to something.
Yeah,
It's definitely a first offense, so that's normal, even though it's a public figure. But I don't know how much steam this is going to get. The last person that was expelled from Congress was that fucking Santos guy.
He's in prison now.
Yeah, but not for the congressional stuff, just because he's a goddamn lunatic racketeer I mean, he's just like a con
Well, it was
man.
for stealing money for congressional stuff, so close.
He's a total con man, that guy.
Now,
this would be I don't think, I don't know if I've seen anything like this before where it's like you get booted from Congress because you committed a crime. It would have to be a crime related to your job, but I guess assaulting federal agents would fall into that purview. I don't know what the congressional rules are for that, actually.
Well, I mean, look, you arrested the J6ers, right, for all that stuff. How is this any different, I guess? So, yeah, I do whatever you want. Now, earlier in the week, and this is a story we didn't really get a chance to chat about, Nancy Mace said she would go fully nude onto the Congress floor here. Bob, pop up this picture real quick. Yep, that's her.
Well, that's not nude, though.
I understand that. But now, after seeing this, you kind of want to see what's underneath there. Whatever happened with that?
I don't know. They posted something. It was like it was like surveillance footage of her from some dude that was stalking her or some shit like that.
Yeah, I want to see, but just do some tasteful nudes. Like, you know, she looks like she's an avid surfer, according to this picture here. Are those real or fake, Dan?
Those are not real. Okay. And it would be a good way for her to raise money for the next election.
I agree.
So why not, right?
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
Exactly.
If we're going to have women in politics.
Yeah, yes. Speaking of which.
Can we have women with?
Nude, yeah. Can we have them nude? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Speaking of which, on our app, on Drinkin Bro's app, by the way, the video kicked in last night. Do you want to take a guess at what the first video was?
Probably somebody pounding off.
No, it was a girl.
Oh, good.
Actually
good
masturbating, so that's fun. But yeah, we've added, I think, 30-second video to the app. So if you want the Drinkin Bros app,
I think
feel free.
We should do treat it like Vine. You know what I mean?
How many seconds?
Vine was 6.
Okay.
So 30 is a long time. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff in 30, so do whatever you want. Use it however you want. We don't give a shit.
Use it wisely.
But what I want to see is like quick cut, short, funny stuff. Yeah. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
That's why I was good about doing this.
Yes.
Because I'm hoping you guys send me so many fucked up memes and shit. I know you've got it in you.
Oh, there are a lot of them are on here, and we'll pull them off of there. But yeah, it's free. Apple, Android, all that other stuff. It's that dipshit. You're taking my data. I wouldn't even know what to do with your fucking data, bro. Jesus Christ, man. I'm still doing checks by hand over here after the goddamn show ends. Next up, D'Anthony, St. Louis emergency manager fired. The head of the city emergency management, or SEMA, which is fun there, in St. Louis, has been placed on leave. Mayor Kara Spencer's office announced Tuesday. SEMA Commissioner Sarah Russell is on paid administration leave pending an external investigation into why tornado sirens didn't sound before an EF3 tornado hit parts of central West End in the North City on Friday. 5 people died when the storm moved through. In a release, Spencer's office says SEMA staff, including Russell, were at a workshop on Market Street and not at the SEMA office located on Olive, where the siren activation button is located. Spencer's office, said Russell, then contacted the fire departments. We have a systematic failure across so many systems here. City officials said there was a breakdown in communication with the directive of Acton. We can go on about this forever. So the news that was reported here was that it was because of budget cuts by Trump. Obviously, that was not true. Who is this up on screen right now, Bob?
That's the they, them. And I'm not kidding. That's the they, them that is in charge of emergency management for the city of St. Louis, which, by the way, is a major U.S. city in Tornado Alley. They just a month ago, or a month and a half ago, they got lucky. They were bookended. There were tornadoes on both sides of St. Louis County, just ripped through that area, and they got lucky to get hit. This time they got hit.
Well, on fake news on what, Monday, Bob?
Yeah.
We went over Monday. You said it was right by your house.
It was very close to my house, yeah.
Yeah, and why do we have these people in charge?
Well, here's, Bob, click on the LinkedIn link there.
I'm on it.
Okay. So let me get up here, too. I just want to, first, my personal bona fides on this. So I worked in private security. One of the things that I focused on specifically was emergency manager or emergency management. And the top level certification you can get for that is called a Certified Emergency Manager, or CEM, right? At the time, this is like 2015 maybe, 2016, there were 1,500 in the world, right? I qualified for it. I just hadn't taken the test yet. There's like the final thing you do is take a test.
Okay.
But that wouldn't have been a problem. I just went to work for Homeland Security and then Black Rifle after that. So there's no reason to ever take it because it costs a lot of money. At any rate, the qualifications for this are a bachelor's degree in emergency management or a related field. Mine was in security management. I had a master's in international homeland security.
That makes sense.
3 years of comprehensive experience in the field, multiple full-scale exercise experiences, meaning you went on a full-scale exercise with the national, even with a city, with the National Guard for one of the 13 regions in the U.S. There's 13 FEMA regions, or there were at the time. I don't know what it is now. 6 separate professional contributions in the last 10 years. That is to say, issues that are ongoing, and you wrote a first-party research white paper on that issue. Like, I'm the St. Louis City emergency manager. Here's all the fucking stuff we've done here, and here's some findings, and you publish that. That would be one. You have to do that 6 times in 10 years. Then there's I don't know what it is now, but this woman is a little bit older than me, so she would have been playing by the same rules I was. It was 2,000 hours of total experience, and 2,000 like verifiable stuff that you list the references for. They call them and make sure you actually did it, and then 2,000 hours of professional training, incident command system, FEMA, all that stuff. 2,000 hours of this training, right? That's what you have to do to qualify for this. I don't know what this woman's done, but I don't think she's done any of that. She doesn't have the CEM certification, which is what you would expect of a major U.S. city in a fucking hot zone to have. You would expect that. If you look at her, I say her, it's they, them, actually.
Yeah.
But if you look at this Mongoloid's career, it starts with she was a safety and training coordinator at Anheuser-Busch for 10 years back in the early 2000s. And basically what that is, they give you a clip. You've got a bachelor's degree of any kind. Yeah. They give you a clipboard. You put people through trainings. That's it. You don't know anything about anything. For 10 years, she did that. Then she was a public information officer for a disaster response system, and then a public information officer for St. Louis emergency planning. And then she was a social media working group member for Homeland Security in their emergency management section. She didn't actually, and then she was a technical support specialist, and then a PIO for Team Rubicon, which is a private organization that does disaster relief. PIO is public information officer, and then training coordinator, and then deputy commissioner for public affairs in St. Louis for 9 years. She at no point has this person ever done the job of emergency manager. And then for some fucking reason, in June of 21, odd time for it to happen, she was made the fucking city emergency manager with no credentials or experience. And this is what happens. Yeah. This people say stuff is DEI all the time. This is fucking DEI. And like 30 people are dead because of it.
Yeah, it's a weird story, man. We talked about this the other day. I've been in 3 tornadoes. And this one we showed, was this the one that's with the hail, Bob? The softball hail and all that shit, and the guy held the camera out the window?
I don't know if there was hail on this one, but like the tornado. So actually, this is interesting.
I know there was 2 different groups of tornadoes that were rolling through the Midwest.
There was a whole storm system. Yeah, I think that the hail might have been in Kentucky.
Okay. So with that, sometimes some of these things don't have the proper funnels that would cause you to hit the button or whatever it is. That was not the case here. There's no excuse for this. The other place that we covered the other day was where everybody was hanging out the window because it just popped up so fast. And the communication breakdowns and all that other bullshit, cool, it's going to cost you your job, or it should.
So this is interesting, too, because you can ask the First Form guys when you're there. But the way the St. Louis metro area is divided up, it's really weird. There's the St. Louis city. That is not part of a county. It's called an independent city. It is its own city and county.
Yep.
And then there's St. Louis County. I grew up in St. Louis County, which is right next to the city. I grew up 5 minutes from the city. But the tornado started in St. Louis County and then went over through to the city. So by the time the tornado hit the city, they already knew there was a tornado.
Right.
It wasn't like the tornado started in
the
the
city. No,
city.
it already touched down right next door.
Yes.
Right.
So you had plenty of time to hit the button, hear the sirens and all that other shit. And like, if you've been in one, those sirens are unmistakable. Like, you know exactly what the fuck's going on, and you take cover as quickly as possible. If no one hits the siren, no one would fucking ever know a goddamn tornado was coming.
And like in most cases, I would cringe at the idea of credentialism. Like, oh, you didn't have a degree, you can't do that. This is not a degree. This is the CEM, the Certified Emergency Manager Certificate, is the most exhaustive credential that I've ever been a part of any sort, right? Like, it requires direct training, direct action in actual work product, professional communications, that is to say white papers, the education itself, and then you need a mentor. You have to have all this stuff before you can even apply to take the test. And so far as I can tell from the resume of this person and their experience, wouldn't qualify. Like, you don't get, being a training manager, handing out pamphlets at Anheuser-Busch doesn't count. Just working in the PIO department for Homeland Security doesn't count. You have to be an actual emergency manager.
Yes, it's a totally separate job. I don't even know how you even prepare for that. At like, let's say Budweiser, for example, and also, Bob, you can back me up on this one. I feel like Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis has created so many jobs that it's like, yeah, as soon as you pulled up her LinkedIn, guarantee you should work there at some point in your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, that's always a good chance.
Yes.
From that area, yeah, for sure.
But what that has to do with working in this position?
And I mean, like, certainly it's a career path. So you could start in that and be like, you know what, I really like this security emergency management thing. I'm going to go actually do it. No, she was a public information officer. She talked about it. She never did it at any point. And they made her the fucking head of it in a major U.S. city in the middle of Tornado Alley.
It's crazy.
And people are dead because of it.
Yeah,
that's how that works. I just don't understand how you. I know exactly what happened when they hired her in the first place back in the day to be the fucking deputy for PIO. It's like, is there anybody in our department anywhere that looks like fucking that?
Like Pat,
that says they them.
Yeah.
Right? Is there any one of those? Can we just promote her and make her the face of our emergency management system? Like, oh yeah, why not? Let's do that.
God damn it, dude, it's crazy. All right, now's the point of the show. We get to the Drinkin Bro of the week. Sir, would you like to come up? Are you allowed to? Great. Perfect. So, look, we would love to have you guys in studio, and there's some listeners here today that we're going to bring up, or you can submit on drinkinbros.com.
Wait, before we do that, before you come up.
You got another one?
We got a letter.
From the government?
From Matty Ice.
Okay.
And I think there's pictures in here. It looked like a packet of like printed out pictures.
Really?
But I haven't looked in yet.
Any nudes?
TBD.
All right.
I'm going to look at them
What do we got here?
Is there a letter?
No.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Oh, there is a letter?
In honor of the new Pope, here are some photos of Pope that would be better. Sorry, Delco, if you came out looking like a goblin. Also, Ross, the baseball Pope hat killed me. Enjoy an extra Gary photo. Shout out to Street Gonzo and Softcore. P.S. Dan, I may have terrible handwriting, but at least I'm not compromised.
There you go.
Matty Ice.
Yeah, you're compromised by Iran, dude.
By a number
Ice.
Of countries, actually. Let me look at these before I post. Oh, these are the Pope photos that he put on the internet. I saw these.
Oh, was he with the Pope?
Yeah, here's Delco looks like the fucking hunchback of Notre Dame here. You see that one?
Oh, yeah. I like
can't
that
really
a lot,
see it
dude.
on the camera. It's too far away.
These are great. So we printed these out?
Yeah. Here, mine was the best, in my opinion.
I agree. I thought you had the best Pope.
Because I actually look like the Pope.
Yes, you look like a real Pope.
You look like yourself.
Yeah, they just took that.
I don't know why the hat's on there. That was weird. That AI decided to do that.
Yeah, just take the bill off.
And then Gary's is actually not bad either.
Gary's is pretty good, yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. And then there's this Simpsons Gary.
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah,
bad.
that's great.
So thank you, Matty Ice. If you send in weird shit to us, we will put it on the show.
Yeah, we'll put it on the thing. If you send in awful memes, too, we'll post those as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're not afraid. Never have been, never will be. And then, again, you can submit at drinkinbros.com for Drinkin Bro of the Week. Got a ton of great merch up there. Drinkin Bros box is out, so the Bro box is, this one's done. I don't know what we're going to do with the chairs now. Maybe we'll add them later in the future. I'm not sure. But we're doing, like, all these Bro boxes are just whatever's in there is in there, and then never pops up again. So the next few months are bangers. I had a meeting with Brandon about it yesterday. Super amped. I just bought the rope hat and the the Masters gear. So that should be at my house shortly. Looking forward to that. Ton of great new merch in there. Glassware is fucking elite, by the way, and so is the barbecue equipment. Highly recommend that. The jackets are up. Hoodies are up at a discount right now. Go to drinkinbros.com and get all your faves. And then who do we got back there? Come on up, sir. Join us on the old program. Yeah. Look at you. You're our last Drinkin Bro here before the holiday.
Last Drinkin Bro.
Tomorrow, we pre-recorded with Sarah Gonzalez from The Blaze. She will be on tomorrow. So, interviewing her about her life, dude, and her happenings. And that'll be on YouTube tomorrow. What's your name, sir?
Nick.
Nick. Yeah, dude. Big Dick Nick. What's up, bro?
How you doing?
How long you been listening?
Since 2017.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's been a while.
8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going on year 10 now. It'll be 10 at Thanksgiving.
I love it.
Son of a bitch, man. I don't even notice.
Yeah.
At all. So somebody said it was episode 1500 yesterday on the thing. And
yeah, I noticed that.
Well, we've also done, fake news and all that other shit. I know we're at 2,300 episodes or something like that. So I don't celebrate something that I don't know what the end date is.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have a desire to stop. So it's just another fucking day,
Keep it going. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Who do you want to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to?
I'm going to give Drinkin Bro of the Week to my dad.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, role model in my life, role model in my brother's lives. So
Father's Day's coming up. What's his name?
Alan.
Alan, yeah. God, it's a strong white name, isn't it?
Oh,
Alan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Midwest
Alan.
too, right?
Oh, yeah. Where are you at Midwestern-wise?
From Ohio originally. So
Really?
Toledo, Ohio, yep.
You Buckeye fan or a Rockets fan?
Michigan fan.
Fuck you.
I know. I shouldn't be saying that in the show.
Look, it's fine. Look, we have a deal with Michigan, and I picked them to win the national championship. So if you listen to Drinkin Bro Sports, that year you guys won, I picked it. Okay. So, yeah, I don't have look, I'm not on the goddamn field. So I can look at it and say, all right, this is who I genuinely think is going to win.
Right.
And I just happen to be right. 7 out of the last 8 years. So, yeah.
It's good. It's a good competition they have between the two.
It is. The only thing that I don't like is how that game is now meaningless.
Right.
It's weird, man. And it's hard to get used to. I think the 4-team playoff certainly helps because, Ohio State's those 4 games were gnarly, dude.
Right.
What was it? Tennessee, Notre Dame, Oregon. Who was the 4th one for Ohio State? Jesus Christ, I should know this. Texas.
Yep.
God damn. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's brutal. So if you're going into the end of the season, if you're Michigan or Ohio State, let's say you're first in the Big Ten, why not just dump that game so you don't have to play in the Big Ten championship and then, cool, man, get an extra week's rest and then play, get some reps in and then play the next team.
Yeah,
it certainly helps Ohio State, for sure.
Well, there's a good chance that both of those teams will continue to be national title contenders for the next 5 to 10 years. So,
yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens. I was not stoked with Bryce Underwood's spring game.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. Whereas Julian Sand was dialed in, that kid. So we'll find out what happens there for $10 million. Because look, we don't have to pay $10 million for a quarterback, but for $10 million,
better be worth it.
You better be fucking elite, dude. Holy shit, that's some big boy money there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of pressure for an 18-year-old.
Yes, sir.
Hey, we're giving you $10 million. Go win a fucking title, bro, this year. So
and he may not stay, right?
Yeah. Right. That's the other thing. I remember Ohio State paid a kid and he's fucking bouncing. Or Iowa.
Yep.
Iowa too, man. Remember they backed up the truck for that Alabama lineman? And he was like, man, this system fucking sucks up here, dude. I'm out of here. I went back to Alabama.
Well, yeah, football's crazy now, right? Everyone's leaving, going
Oh,
to schools,
fuck yeah,
especially
dude.
with NIL.
Yeah. Yes. So I'd say even happening in youth leagues of people calling them to get them in other schools and all that other shit. It's a wild time out there. So yeah, I appreciate you being here. Do you want to give a shout out to is it your wife or your girlfriend?
It is my fiance. We're actually getting married this year in September. So
Congratulations. Mariah, do you want to give her an extra Drinkin Bro out of the week there?
Yeah, I'll give her the Drinkin Bro.
Yeah, you should,
Of
dude.
course.
Okay?
Yeah.
Trying to help you out here, for Christ's sakes, you know?
yeah.
She's been here all day listening to our bullshit. Goddamn. Yeah.
Yeah, no, enjoyed the drinks. It's been fun watching you guys live. So, gonna enjoy our weekend here in Austin. First time in Texas. So,
No way.
Yeah.
You guys in town for the whole weekend?
We'll be here until Monday, yeah. We're
Delco's always got good recommendations.
Yeah, he gave me some of the...
I hear that from all the listeners. So when you guys come in, they're always like, man, Delco sent me the best place last night. It fucking rocks. So, yeah, hit up J&L Barbecue in the afternoon. Grab us some BLTs and some sandwiches. And those goddamn burgers are phenomenal there. For the nighttime, Would you offer them something fun and flirty for the nighttime, Delco?
I did a Lonesome Dove, of course, but there's also a couple barbecue spots now that have Michelin stars. So, I mean,
here in Texas?
Yeah.
Really?
There's actually 3. It's Interstellar, it's La Barbecue, and my favorite spot, Leroy and Lewis.
Okay. Look, I'm going to lobby for J&L, all right? Give them a Michelin star. Let them be on the come up. I had the La Barbecue one. It was okay. It wasn't better than J&L. What was the other one?
Leroy and Lewis.
So I have not been there yet. I've been to Interstellar. It's good. It's fine. But is it worthy of Michelin stars?
You been to Interstellar up north?
Yes.
It's great.
It is. And so there's a soccer tournament up there. It's very good. However, yeah, man, I just like more of the options at some of the other places. So it's fine. But I've not been to, where's Leroy and Lewis?
It's actually down south. So they got a brick and mortar. It's a great location in like this neighborhood off Stasny.
Okay. All right. We're at the checkout. But shout out to my homies at J&L Barbecue there for the weekends. And if you're out there grilling for the weekend, go to omahasteaks.com. Use that promo code Drinkin Bros for $35 off your first order over there. I'm going to be grilling, chilling out. I've been finishing up that final St. James Street James book at night. So, yeah, dude, this is a nice... We gave everybody a true 4-day weekend, which is rare around here because we're on daily. So tomorrow's show is pre-recorded. Delco, what time is that going to launch on YouTube?
What time you want to go out?
You want to do 2 and then
2,
what time you want to drop the audio show?
7?
8? Yeah, or 7 CST, yes. 8 o'clock East. Let's do that. That way everybody can enjoy one last show over the weekend as we drive. Obviously, every year we are off on Memorial Day because we don't want to profit off of our dead friends. So we've had that rule on the show for the last 10 years. We're not breaking it now, and we'll be back to you on Tuesday with all the shows across the network. So just please keep that in mind. Stay safe out there this Memorial Day weekend. We love you guys. We appreciate you tuning in and day out. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. It's just a 5-star, and you can walk away. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is Drinkin Bros Fake News Good.